You need one. You need one.
Good morning and welcome to the JB Marks Oval in Potchefstroom for this Hollywoodbets Pro20 series clash between the Northwest Dragons women and the SWD Badgers women. It's a bit overcast, a bit windy, but the wicket looks like an absolute belter and the outfield in superb condition, so we can expect some proper cricket by both ladies' teams today. With me I've got the two captains, Janay Winster, as well as Zentley Kula, and the two umpires Strydom and Low. With the toss, who's got the coin?
Heat. Tails. Thank you. You ready? You will. Tails. Tails the call. Tails it is. We're gonna have the bat first.
No, you're gonna bat first. Okay, Zentley. Not a win yesterday that you wanted, but areas that you think you want to improve on today in this clash?
I mean, definitely we want to improve with the batting because we did want to bat yesterday and so do we today. So I feel like the small measures that we missed yesterday, we can get better today.
Okay, and any changes to your team for today's clash?
Yes, we only have one change today. Julia Hall is going to be out today. Then Giselle Abrams is going to be part of the squad today. Yeah.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
Hope you have a good game.
Thank you.
Morning, Janay.
Morning.
Yeah, it's not a toss that you wanted to lose, but it's okay. Your team bowling first. Any changes to your team?
Yeah, it's actually went again into our benefit, so we're also planning on bowling first. And yeah, we have one change today. So Leslie, the power hitter, comes in for Phoebe Molkenboer.
Okay, so it's a good win yesterday for your team. Much needed win. Looking forward to another win this morning to put yourself in a better position on the promotion relegation zone.
No, definitely. It was a good one yesterday, but I think we said it yesterday, like the job is not done, obviously. Everything is just getting more difficult now for us, having to win every single game. So, I mean, a win yesterday put us mind switch on to fight even harder.
All the best for your game today, Janay.
Thank you so much.
So that's it from the toss, where the Garden Route Badgers women won the toss and they elected to bat first.
Yeah.
You ran on your own this morning, Brady.
No, I ran with Tom. I ran with my own yesterday, that was tough.
Did you see where they appointed us house parents now?
No.
No, it's not the.
What do they let you know? Like, do they send you a mail or something?
Yeah, on email.
Oh.
From, but I'm not sure whether it's correct yet.
Why is that?
SWD Badgers women. Good morning to my fellow commentator for the day, Brady Barnes.
Good morning, Conrad. Yeah, really lovely to be at JB Marks Oval for this important Hollywood T20 Pro T20 clash. Should be an exciting day after yesterday.
Yeah, it's interesting weather that Potch currently has. Over the last few days, a lot of rain, very overcast, but windy outside, but nothing to take away from the fact that the outfit looks in superb condition. Same strip that they're using for today's match that they used yesterday. Rock hard, as we come to know in Potchefstroom, always very good batting conditions, and bowlers will need to know which areas to hit. I think yesterday a lot of cutters were bowled, a lot of pace was taken off, and therefore the spinners yesterday came into effect so well for the Northwest Dragons women, who won the game against the Garden Route Badgers ladies. You see there Alisa Exleben, who picked up 3 for 33 in yesterday's game, as well as always very steady in Tabiseng Nini, who also picked up 3 for 23 in 9 overs. Yeah, and it was a good day out for the batters yesterday for the Garden Route Badgers ladies. Mika de Ridder scoring a fantastic 109 off 140 deliveries. But in the end, the Dragons women come through for the Big W. Verusha Reddy scoring 67. Deirdre van Rensburg 68. Phoebe Morkenboer 27. And Minion de Pre finishing off the game. From the city end, to start off proceedings, looks like Tabiseng Nini. Could be wrong, Brady.
Yeah, there's Tabiseng Nini that's starting off from the city end. Like you said, obviously yesterday she was very steady, and I think she is quite a steady bowler.
Just wait for our pictures to come through. The start of the game, Tabiseng Nini. Good start just outside off stump, hard length that she's hitting. Very steady campaigner by now. Still a young girl, is in Tabiseng Nini, but we've seen her before playing for SA Under 19 at the most recent World Cup in Indonesia, if I'm not mistaken, Brady.
Yes, she was also obviously involved in the emergence squad as well, which was really exciting for her as well, as we see her coming in here from the city end. Beautiful line and end, which has been driven to extra cover, good fielding in the cover region. Yeah, I think Tabiseng Nini I think she's got a really bright future ahead of her. Looks like she's a very focused and hard-working individual as well, and I think she's got a really bright future. As you see, instantly a slip comes out, and it looks like she's going into, yeah, just reinforcement in the cover area. Another short and wide there by Tabiseng Nini, and she misses out, but another dot, and a really important dot when it comes to T20 cricket. Hey, Conrad?
Yeah, definitely. I think she definitely will put up her name for higher honours pretty soon. The innings opened for the SW Garden Route Badgers ladies is Ndebuka as well as Nadine Moodley. Currently still has to face delivery. Oh, this time big swing across the line, and the finger goes up from umpire straight on. Big swing across the line this time by Ndebuka. Just looked straight, looked out. Good length by Nini. And the first wicket gone for the Garden Route Badgers ladies. Score 0 for 1.
Yes, what a start here by Tabiseng Nini and the Northwest Dragons. In T20 cricket, you obviously always want to make inroads, and she certainly has made inroads with that big inducker into the right-hander, trapping her right in front, and it looked really out.
Yeah, excellent delivery there by Nini. And that's a start that the Dragons ladies were looking for. Big wicket there, LBW just looked plumb as it hit her pad.
As we see the new batter coming into the crease here, Isel Cilliers.
Formerly from the Free State. She spent some time in Potchefstroom as well.
Yeah, I think she would really know these conditions in this part of the world where she spent a season or two here with the Northwest Dragons, and last season she was with Free State, and obviously making the move up to, as you see, she knocks it down to Longo for a single, and she's off the mark.
Opening the account for the Badgers ladies there. 1 for 1 currently, with the final delivery of the first over coming up by Nini. Great start, and that's what you want to see in Pro20 cricket. This Hollywoodbets Pro20 series has delivered so many scintillating games over the past season. As we go to the back end now of the competition, after this, only 2 rounds left. Nini now to Moodley to face her first delivery. Opens up, off stump. Long way that she goes across the leg stump. Knocks it to mid-off, no run. End of the first over, 1 for 1. Great start there by the Northwest Dragons ladies and Nini.
Yeah, great start here by Northwest Dragons and Nini there, where she obviously got the crucial wicket and the big wicket to set the tone. And we always speak about setting the tone and making sure that we make inroads, and she certainly has.
If we just look at the teams for today's match. For the Garden Route Badgers ladies, it is Ulumsedu Dunga, Isel Cilliers, that's currently at the wicket, Nicolene Janssen van Rensburg, Zentle Kuna, who's also the captain, Mijan Botha, Nadine Moodley, also currently at the wicket, Cara Fisher, Mika de Ridder, Ndimbuka, who just lost a wicket with that LBW decision, Giselle Abrams and Annika Swart. And then for the Dragons ladies, Reddy, Mignon de Prier, Lisri de Villiers, Karabo Limfane, Renshaw Tomei, Janai Winster, the captain, Elisa Exleben, Tabitha Legransi, Deirdre van Rensburg, who had a cracking game yesterday in the 50 over competition, Ntapiseng Nini, as well as Kaglehlu Seglori. As we see Seglori opening up now, her first over cut by Cilliers, does not find the gap.
Yeah. As you see Katleka there with the first ball, yes, yet another steady cricketer, as we see her coming from the university end into Cilliers. Good length, knocked into the covers for one. Good run out chance there, bit of a chance, but given not out. Good fielding there by, looks like Mignon Dupree in the cover region. Yeah, let's speak a little bit about obviously this bowling attack from the Northwest Dragons. Quite a steady young attack, but they've been really consistent over the season.
Yeah, again, as you said, Brady, it's been very steady. I think it's, if you talk about an area that's let them down, maybe is the batting, with only Mignon Dupree dominating this competition so far for the Dragons ladies. But after this, they'll definitely go to spin with Deirdre van Rensburg, Elisa Exleben, and even the captain Janai Winster will turn it a bit. Straight to this time, question asked to umpire Adele Lowe. She's not interested. No, Brady, I think it's not the worst seam attack. It's not the worst seam attack. They even left out Phoebe Morkenburg today, as well as Sarah Barber, who is both seamers. I think they went spin heavy on this wicket. I think it turned a bit yesterday as well. You can see the spinners picking up the bulk of the wickets. Oh, what a cricket shot. Straight down the ground by Moodley, but it's got to be picked up by Tormey. No chance for a second run. Good cricket shot there by Moodley.
Yeah, really good cricket shot, but it obviously also sees what we see right now is that I think Northwest Dragons have got some good plans and they know where they're obviously going to be missing. And they've obviously protected themselves here as we see a cover sweep out on the boundary with Long Off also down on the boundary.
Oh, she's running straight to the bowler. Luckily she turned around. That didn't look like a run. It was in the follow through of the bowler. Maybe she thought it's a bit squarer off the bat. Yeah, it's good seeing, and I saw this last week as well, Brady, that their plans were good. The Dragons ladies, their disciplines were really good in the field and with the ball with only one wide being conceded. It's just felt that maybe that one or two batters short that's on form, that can either set a proper target in a 50 over or 20 over competition, and then also in the chase, some hard hitters like they did last week. They didn't really have that firepower to come in and knock off the 160 odd that the Dolphins lady put on the scoreboard.
We'll see Katlego here running in once again, nice and full, which has been knocked down the ground for one run. Yeah, I think going back to what you said, obviously from an extras point of view, as we see the end of the second over where the Badgers are 4 for 1 after 2 overs. Yeah, Conrad, going back to your statement with regards to extras and the importance of extras, especially in T20 cricket, which, like you said, the Northwest Dragons hasn't bowled a lot of them, which is always a positive. How important is that?
Well, Brady, I remember many years ago back then when it was the start of varsity cricket, we were fortunate to have Johan van der Vat, who's now also a commentator, I think, on the Supersport channels, and he spoke to the players coming from the environment that he was as Nini gets a thick outside edge of Salia's bat. It's going to race down to the vacant third man area. Very fine with a wicket keeper ready, not being able to pick up that catch. That would have been a very good catch if she got her gloves down on it.
Beautiful line and length there, but Tommy Nini, I still feel with her caliber and how they obviously made inroads, they could have still carried on going with the slip.
Sometimes we take out the slip too quickly. It's still a positive fielding position is the slip, especially in the power play where you want to pick up that 1 or 2, maybe even 3 wickets. This time just knocked to mid-off with Deirdre van Rensburg doing the clean-up work there. And just to come back to the discipline area, and Johan van der Vat actually spoke to the players back then and said that in a 20-over game, if you can go 7 or less extras, and that's counting everything, buys, leg buys, wides, no balls, then your chances of winning the game moves up by like 15 or 20%. So, yeah, it's interesting, and it's good to see that the women's disciplines were so good last week, and so far we've seen the same thing as we see an excellent stop there by the fielder. Does look like it's Glory that's done the duties there at mid-on. Batters did go through for a single. So it's an important area for the coaching staff in all forms of the game. Doesn't matter if it's men, women, kids. If you can count down those extras and keep it down to as little as possible, your chances of winning the game will just be so much better. See Nini again, harder length this time. And this time it's an inside edge, thick inside edge from Salia's bat, and it goes to the boundary as well. This time to the fine leg area. The fine leg, unfortunately, up in the ring. Picks up her second boundary. Fortuitous takes the score to 14 for 1 after 2.4 overs. Just feel that it's good. 2 very good deliveries by Nini, and she's lost the battle on both.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part about it. She's obviously found the outside edge, and then she found the inside edge, and it could have gone either way there. But unfortunately, I still feel she still needs to stick to that same line and length that she's persistently been hitting, and she's been really good. And I'm pretty sure she's going to get rewarded pretty soon, as we see her coming into, as Celia's pulls out once again, and I wonder why. But yeah, I think from an extras point of view, which is also very important, and I think we constantly speak about it, is also the fielding, and you need the fielders obviously to back the ball up as well. As we see a back of a length by Ntabi saying Nini, and I think you see that length there is really not effective. She needs to just be a little bit more fuller, where she can obviously test the inside half of the bat and the outside half of the bat as well. But yeah, going back to obviously fielding, where we saw a really, really good stop at mid-on, also very, very important in T20 cricket.
Nini this time short, and it's pulled by Celia. Misses her length, does Nini, but it's dispatched to the deep mid-wicket boundary. And that's a third four from the over. So the score moves to 18 for 1 after 3. Yes, Brady, fielding, that just sets the tone as well. It's not only about stopping runs or taking catches, but especially in the shortest format of the game, fielding sets the tone about body language, the way that players just complement one another, and those little half stops. It also keeps a bowler's hopes up. It's a definite way of winning. That's one area of the game that you can really, really control well, is when you field as a unit, making good stops, taking proper catches. It just gives you that extra impetus in a match, especially in a 20-over game.
Yeah, spot on there, as we see Katlego coming in from the university, and once again she's running into Moodley. Really full, and has been driven past extra cover. Beautiful shot by Moodley, and it's trickled away to the boundary there.
That's an excellent shot. Some width there given by Sechlori, just not only missing line but also missing length, and it opens up the arms, open up an offside for Nadine Moodley, who picks up her first boundary of this game. Excellent cricket shot there.
Yeah, much better conditions compared to yesterday, when it was obviously overcast, and as we see Katlego coming into Moodley once again. Moodley runs down the wicket, and it's a little bit of a hack to square leg after the beautiful shot that we saw through the covers there. But yeah, different conditions today, Conrad, with the sun being out compared to yesterday. It was a little bit overcast when they obviously started.
I just want to say that she went from absolute textbook extra cover drive to agricultural, and again she tries the same thing, misses it, but they scamper through as the fielder, or the wicket keeper rather, can't collect, and they take a bye. Or did it come off the bat? I didn't see a signal there from umpire Low.
I think there was a chance missed there.
Yeah, it could be. Not sure if it dropped short of the wicket keeper. Ready. Yeah, yesterday morning it was atrocious weather here in Potchefstroom. Woke up with just steady, not really hard rain falling, but it was steady rain up until about 9 o'clock. Better length that time, also better line by Sechlori. I was at the Owl ground yesterday at 5:30 trying to start moving some water, Brady, just to get a club game going. In the end, it did work, fortunately. All club games did continue.
Yeah, I saw obviously in the morning as well, and obviously Kose's cricket was bowled there by Katlego, and more fielded as well by her.
Yeah, we had to cancel yesterday's Residents League because it's actually played on rugby fields,
Yeah.
and not proper cricket fields with irrigation and the like. We had to cancel that, but now we're moving into more evening games, which will mean that you've got to work a few evenings as well for a change.
Oof, that's going to be a tough work.
Yorker this time by Sechlori. She started off the over with a boundary, and now it's just gone for a single for the rest of the deliveries. Good over in the end, 2 overs for 8. The score goes to 23 for 1 after 4. And what do you think a good score will be in the power play for the Badgers ladies?
I think if they're getting out of this power play, Conrad, with 35 to 40, I think they'll be absolutely smiling with just one down, as we see the helmet running onto the field, which means spin could be introduced nice and early, as you said. With regards to conditions, you were down there earlier this morning. How did the wicket look?
Yeah, as always, it's a rock hard wicket. Same strip used as in yesterday's game. Speaking to one of the umpires, she said it gripped. So we see the captain, Janne Winster, coming into the attack. And I think that wicket, because it's been used, I think it's the same wicket that they used last week against the Dolphins. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the same strip they used for the Pakistan-South Africa game on Thursday here. So a lot of game time on that wicket, so therefore it will be kind of dry. Will spin as her first delivery is nice and full, but it's knocked down too long on. It's collected again by Seglori. I think the spin is going to set a tone here. We'll see how they play with their pace through the air and how it will react from the pitch. This time to Sandia is Winster. Shorter. She rocks back and knocks it to long on, who's going to have a busy day in that area, I presume.
Yeah, going back to you mentioned that there was the merging game versus Pakistan, and it looked like there was a lot of runs being scored on that wicket as well. So beautiful shot. Oh, unfortunately not. There's been good chance, good dive, good effort there, but unfortunately just getting wide of the field at mid-off.
Yeah, it's a big shot that time by Moodley rather. You can see Legransi, Tabita Legransi not being able to make the necessary ground, pick up that catch. Again, I think Winston's playing with the pace here, not making it easy for the batters. This time Fuller, and it's a big LBW call, and umpire Stradum not interested. My word, that looks straight. If anything, it's just missing or clipping leg stump, as we see on the replay this time. Could be sliding down leg. Good call in the end by umpire Stradum. Definitely missing leg stump. Shorter this time as Moodley rocks back for the cut, but only finds Van Rensburg at extra cover. Yeah, I think on Thursday's game, or Tuesday's game rather, wasn't it?
Yes.
Tuesday's game, Pakistan women scored 300 plus, and it was chased down by the South African emerging side. This time goes on to the sweep shot. Excellent sweep shot by Moodley, picking up a boundary on the last ball of the 5th over.
Yeah, I just feel that's a beautiful shot with a actually beautiful option, to be brutally honest, with no square leg and no square leg down on the boundary, nor on square. Beautiful shot there by Moodley to open up that area of the field.
That's such a low risk option she took. She got a bad outside off stump, no chance of hitting or getting out LBW, wing playing a shot. She just worked it to the deep square, just behind deep square boundary for, I think, her 3rd boundary of her innings, 2nd boundary rather. Score currently 31 for 1 as we see another bowling change, another spinner. Successful spinner from yesterday's 50 over game, Elisa X11, who picked up 3 for 33 and 10 yesterday. That's a good outing for Elisa X11.
She's also had a really good campaign so far with the ball. And she starts really, really full there. Good start by her. Yeah, I think she's had a really good season so far. She's been in the wickets. Economically, she's actually been really low, which is always good, especially in 20 over cricket. Another full ball that's been knocked down to long on for a single, and Katlejo has picked up. I think she's obviously looking after that area, so it looks like she's running from long off to long off.
Yeah, she's doing the hard yards today on this field. Outfit looks in absolute sublime condition here after the rain we had in the past week. This time also drags it out from outside off stump, does Moodley, but good work by Nini picking it up. Bit of a wild throw into the non-striker's end, but still only the single. It's interesting that
Claudia is finding herself at long on and long on. Usually we give that to the worst fielder, but not in this format of the game anymore. Who's got to do some yards again this time. Slips a little, chucks it into the non-striker's end. Oh, and that would have been gone for all money, did if X11 had that in hand. Big dive there by Moody. She knew she was in trouble.
Yeah, she definitely was in trouble there with the throw. I think Katlego was really slow to get to the ball, and I thought they obviously identified that she was slow getting to the ball, so we should obviously turn around and go for the second one, but she's got a really, really good arm, which is a really good throw from the boundary. And unfortunately, Alyssa couldn't gather the ball and take the stumps off.
Oh, that's good. That's a better length by X11 on her fifth delivery. You can actually see that dive that Moodley had to put in. She winded herself a little. She knew she was in trouble, had to drive. Lucky for her, could not collect it by Elisa X11. This time Celia goes on the street. Oh, she gets that from the old footmarks in the face, it looks. Not sure who that is. It could be Leslie de Villiers. And immediately there's a call for the medical staff to come out. She went on the sweep, did Celia. Went down to collect the ball, but from the old footmarks, bowling footmarks or batting footmarks, not sure, can't see which one it hit. It just climbed onto her face and definitely hit her in the face, as we see the personnel, the medical staff running out. It's just going to be a little bit of a delay here while they attend to, we presume, Leslie de Villiers.
Yeah, really not lovely to obviously see. And unfortunately, it hits one of those footholes and it popped up and it looked like it almost hit her in the throat, and that's very, very painful if it's obviously.
I just see there that Elisa X11 did show a thumbs up there to some of the spectators, so she should be okay. Just maybe the necessary caution taken here by the medical personnel.
Yeah, so obviously South Africa is playing this afternoon, big game for us. What's your thoughts and your feelings on it?
Yeah, it's. I was hoping you steer away from a question like that because the Indian team is. How many players do they have? That's going to be a serious cricket game. I read yesterday or early this morning that they're definitely going to pick another spinner. They're going to pick another spinner for today's clash because I think they're playing in Ahmedabad. Ball could turn. Many left-handers that the Indian top order has, they want the ball turning away from them. Well, we know this Indian team, they've got so many options, such a powerhouse batting attack with Ishan Kishan Rowe, just ruling the roost at this stage for them. But if we come off and we bowl well, which we've actually been doing so far in this in the 4 games played, it's 132,000 people expected at the ground. It's going to be a very big game.
Pressure is definitely going to be on.
Yeah, and you're saying that as we are getting ready. Looks like Leslie de Villiers is okay. Showing again another thumbs up there to possibly a family sitting on the grass embankment. Now at 11:30, England will play Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka chose to field, and that will be at Palakele, which is a Sri Lankan city. That could possibly be also a very good game. Winstead to continue in the second over. That's a off stump, bit of a cut, and the wicketkeeper demolishes the wickets. It's just possibly because the wickets are used, the hole for where the stumps went in is now just getting too big and won't stay in the ground as well it should when you knock it in with a rubber hammer.
She was literally taking out all those stumps.
Yeah. That's the umpire's worst nightmare if they see that and they have to run in from square leg to fix that. But luckily, umpire Adele does not mind. She's a big fan of the game, therefore she's standing again today. She stood yesterday. Doing really well on the sea nowadays. Winster, this time just works it down to the vacant fine leg area. Wicketkeeper really doing chase, but in the end is Renshaw Tomei picking it up. And they go through for 2.
For me, it's just obviously a matter now, like, I still feel they can still squeeze with the situation that they're obviously in, with probably one of, I definitely feel long off should be on the boundary, but they could still have long off in the ring. Whereas, as we see now, she's put in a 45, which is a really, but you're opening up that area. But in saying that as well, I think it's quite a short side there, so you can actually protect that side. She tries to knock it down.
Well, she misses it, does Winster, but they won't go through for 2 as Celia had to dive back a little. Yeah, Brady, it's an interesting field placing because it's an offie coming over the wicket with 5 fielders on the offside. She's literally packing a cover area with a point, cover, extra cover, short third man inside the ring as well as a long off on the boundary. I wonder if it would not be a better option to come around the wicket, have your extra cover move across into mid-wicket and dart it a bit more, because there's a bit of turn and grip. Rather have that mid-wicket area rather covered, because that will always be 1, possibly 2 into that massive gap between deep mid-wicket as well as long on. That's always 2.
You're 100% right there. And I just feel the important thing with coming around the wicket, you literally can bowl the line of leg stump, middle and leg, because you've also got to protect that side as well. With this field, it almost feels as though, yes, she wants to bowl wide, but then she's bowling a little bit straight, which just makes it a lot more easier for them just to knock it into the hole. As we see a forward defence there by Celia's.
It actually looks like she wants to do her own fielding in the mid-wicket area, because just past delivery, she actually goes very quickly to the mid-wicket area. That's a better delivery, better line as well. That's more hitting middle stump with the current field that she has. That over only conceding 3 runs. 38 for 1 after 7 overs. They were 35 for 1 after 6, which is not the worst power play for both teams. Yes. You as a batting unit, you're thinking, it's not a lot of damage to the wickets column. We're going at just past sixes for the over. For the bowling team, same thing. Not a lot of damage on the runs department. Would have loved to pick up another wicket just to put that additional pressure on the batting side. So at this stage, I would say it's a very even contest. Both sides just feeling it out, where they want to find themselves at the end of 20 overs, as X11 will continue with the second over.
Knocked down to long on, as Katlego once again picks up, and there's only a single down there.
And it's a same field but just different, if I can use that word, because there's no current short fine leg. But that fine leg fielder rather is now in the mid-wicket area, which is, it looks like Leslie de Villiers. So she does open up the whole fine leg vacant area there at the back of the fielder, which plays this lap shot, as we say it. And the ball's racing down to the boundary. Don't think it will make it as Legranzi gives chase. It's interesting field placing, and there's 2 reasons why I say this. Majority of women's cricket is played on the leg side. They favour that area. We've seen it over the past. So why have 5 fielders on the offside if they know you got it? And as we say that the mid-wicket goes to short fine leg, and it's precisely the same field that the captain is bowling to from the other side. So maybe some work to be done here in the thought process.
As we see, Celia's going down on the sweep for 1, so wide, long. Yeah, if there is turn, and for me, she's coming over the wicket, which makes it a lot more easier for her to access the leg side of the ground. yes, they haven't scored a boundary in a very long time. As you see, a beautiful shot. As I say that, it's just beaten extra cover and has been driven to the boundary for 4. Beautiful shot there by Mudli. But in saying that, I think that's still the wrong line. So give yourself a little bit more of reinforcements on the leg side in order for you to bowl a straighter line so you're not opening up that side of the field. And if there is a little bit of turn, the turn's obviously coming back into the right-hander, which just makes it a lot more easier for him or for Mudli to knock it into the leg side. As we see Alyssa coming in once again. And another sweep shot to deep square for a single.
Yeah, good cricket by Mudli. Previous delivery, opening up leg stump, giving herself some room, just knocking it past a diving extra cover fielder. And this time, she goes down on the knee, conventional sweep shot, making that a very big over for the women from the SWD. Score now 47 for 1 after 8. Rate achieved just below 6. Still very controllable here for the ladies from Potchefstroom.
Yeah, very much controllable. I think both teams will still be happy with how they're going about the run rate. Like you said, Northwest Dragons would have loved for another wicket. Beautiful shot over the head for a single once again, and Katlego picks up.
As soon as Mudli is actually playing with a straight blade, she looks like a class player. She hit 2 now in this innings so far through the extra cover area, of which one was airborne, so she didn't mean to hit it airborne. This time, Cynthia coming down the wicket, knocking it down to mid-off. That does the clean-up work there for the Dragons ladies. She actually just played 1 bad shot so far that was out of character, if I can say that. The others were so well looked after. I like the way she's manipulating the field on the leg side behind her. This time as well as De Villiers does not get a hand to it, but rather boot. Still only a single. So she does look a proper cricketer, does Mudli.
She does. I think she looks like a very busy cricketer, which you always need in T20 cricket as well. And what I liked about these two batters at the crease, they're literally using their feet almost every single ball, running down at the off end. We see one short and wide, which has been missed out and pulled so wide, long on to Katlego, and lovely picked up and thrown back to the bowler's end.
Yeah, definitely. Katlego Seglodi, who's earning her lunch here today. Not only has she bowled the first 2 overs, she's running long on to long on, being very busy so far on the field. Winster again. That's a bit more of a wick to the ball. Gets a thick inside edge. Picked up by Tormay, chucks it in on the bounce. I think the main thing here for these two, they set now, these 2 batters. And this partnership currently, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to 52 because we lost a wicket without a score so far. So they set.
Once again, beautiful shot through the covers, and it just beats a wide, long off for a boundary there. Beautiful shot. But once again, Conrad, we speak about the lines for offie. I just feel it's too easy coming over the wicket with that line that you're bowling, which is off the stumps.
No, they definitely, as all off spinners should know, playing white ball cricket or limited overs cricket, if you miss, you can't miss the stumps. Just gives you more chances, but if you're going to give width outside off stump, as we see both players being very strong through that cover or extra cover area, that's definitely not the line. It's something that they need to speak about. What better options is. I think in 50 over cricket you can maybe get away with it a bit more, but not in 20 over cricket. And still X11 will persist, coming over the wicket now to Mudli. Bit more flight this time, who knocks it down the ground. Tomei, conventional long barrier, goes down on the knee. Apparently she's had a very good club season so far and made a 200 the other day, did Tomei. I'm not sure for which team she plays, but yeah, that's one of the reasons she was selected for the 20 overs team.
The short and wide has been pulled into the hole where Katlego, she's been really good down in this area. No wonder they've actually singled her out to do long on because she's saved quite a few runs down there.
And she's very quick getting to the ball. She's done a job so far for the team as a fielder and with ball in hand. Very economical in her 2 overs. Again, room.
Oh, just beating the extra cover. And it looks like it should get cut off. Good fielding. I can't really see.
That's
Does it look
Deirdre van Rensburg with Mignon de Pree, who assisted. Excellent fielding. That's proper fielding by both of them. In Afrikaans we say help your Mikey, help your friend. Very good to see that by both these ladies. A young girl in Deirdre van Rensburg, and then former national player Mignon de Pree, now applying the trade here in Potchefstroom for the Dragons ladies. She stays in Cape Town, Brady.
good dot? Really good dot here for Northwest Dragons. Yeah, going back to obviously Mignon, how important it is, obviously having her around, especially with this young crop of cricketers that the Northwest Dragons do have. How important do you think?
Yeah, it's important to have a season campaign in your ranks, especially to a province like the Northwest Dragons ladies that just this past season were promoted to the A division in ladies cricket, and you need a player like that, not only for the skill level that she brings, because everyone knows her record in international cricket, but also just those chats in the change room, you know, at training, what could be done better. And if you're asking me this for a reason, as we see the end of the 10th over now, 61 for 1 with Nadine Moodley on 31, going at better than run a ball, as does Isel Celier, who's currently on 30, rate achieved on 6.1. So yesterday there was club cricket, and a few pros from the Northwest Dragons men were available to play. Of course, for the Travelling Reefs team from Clarksdorp, Vian Libber, the captain, played against the first side of the university, and just his demeanour, the way that we know he's a very good guy, but afterwards he made time to chat to youngsters. You know, many of them went to him and said, listen, what do you think? It happened last week in the warm-up games. The Dragons played against the Colts team for the 50-over competition coming up. If pros do that, like a Mignon de Pree will do in this team, then we know the game is in the right place. You know, these players that play at a certain level should just share that knowledge as much as possible. As we see Deirdre van Rensburg into the attack, a bit of a chip. Oh, and both fielders, miscommunication there between the captain Winster and de Pree. That should have been an easy chance. Just no communication. Ball landing in vacant space between the two as Moodley picks up another double run.
Yeah, big chance there, especially with Moodley being in and set on away. I think if you take that chance, you see a short and has been worked around. Oh, misfielded by the fielder at short 45, and it's just gone away for a boundary there. Yeah, it just seems as though the Northwest Dragons right now is just losing their way a little bit. With Moodley and Celiers putting on a nice little partnership.
Bit of a leg spinner is Deirdre van Rensburg. That was the chance we spoke about, landing between the two fielders. Actually just looking at one another while that ball went up into the air. Better that by van Rensburg. It's again just maybe a bit wide outside off stump. Fortunately there is a short third man, but if Moodley will get a finish edge on the ball, it could run away to the third man boundary. Chance, and she misses, and that's a stick for Deirdre van Rensburg. Excellent glove work by Reddy behind the stumps. And that brings the end of Nadine Moodley. A very good patient knock, 37 from 30. She set up her team, who's currently on 67 for 1 after 10.3 overs, to go on to get a score in the region of 140 to 150 here. But a good knock by Moodley.
Yeah, really, really good knock by Moodley, but not taking away the good bowling by Deirdre. Threw it out really wide and lured her into coming down the wicket, and Moodley looking to work it in the leg side and just ran past it there. Really good bowling by her.
Yeah, Very good glove work at the back by Reddy. Not sure if that was the wrong one. I was never able to pick it anyway. As we see Nicolien Janssen van Rensburg coming in at 4, shirt number 46 for the Badgers ladies.
Yeah, I was standing in the line this morning at Plateau having a coffee where a few of them obviously came in, and she was one of them, and she was just like, I just wish I could just get runs to her. She was speaking to Reddy, because Reddy obviously played a really good knock yesterday, and I think she's really hungry to obviously get runs, and I'd love to see how she obviously goes today with bat in hand.
It's a very good batting wicket again, prepared here by the curator, Louis Creer. Dera van Rensburg, 2 balls to go in her first over. Shorter this time, pulled by van Rensburg, but there is protection on the deep square boundary. It's all May chucking the ball in on the bounce. Good innings yesterday by Dera van Rensburg, scoring 67. Bit wider this time, definitely wide as signalled by umpire Stradon, getting some exercise behind the wicket.
Yeah, I think Deidre is also another young and up-and-coming good cricketer that could be very, very good for this region.
Better delivery, shorter this time as Winston makes some ground at extra cover. End of van Rensburg's first over. That's Deirdre van Rensburg, as we have Nicolien van Rensburg also in at bat now. 1 for 9 in her first over.
Good start by her, I think very big wicket. No matter what she went for, yes, she did go for 9 runs, but she got the big wicket of Moodley, which is always just puts the handbrakes on them setting a score.
As we see a bowling change now from the university end, Tabitha Legransi. Tall young girl. Saw her end of last year playing a game here. I think she picked up a wicket in her first over at this level. Yeah, good action.
I saw her obviously warming up, and she looks like she's actually quite an athlete, you know, the way she moves and the way she picks up the ball, the way she throws the ball in. It'll be interesting to see how she goes about her business. I haven't seen her. It's my first time seeing her as she runs in. Starts with a short ball and has been knocked into cow area region, sorry.
It's a good sound that one made off Isel Celia's bat. Just too short to start off, but let's give that to a bit of nerves playing at this level. A good run up here by Tabitha Legransi. Got a bit of an idiosyncrasy there as she starts her run up. Shortish again. This time to just behind deep square boundary. Good throw there. I must say that so far the disciplines in the field has not been too bad by the Dragons ladies. Yeah, maybe a fault here or two, but can be forgiven for that.
Beautifully bowled by. Oh, chance! Unlucky.
I'm pretty sure I saw her throwing there with her left arm. If that is the case, it's a strong left arm, but a direct hit would have had van Rensburg in big trouble. Miscommunication by excellence there. First it was from the Dragons ladies, this time from the Badgers ladies. 4th ball now by Legransi. That's better, but it's knocked straight down the ground. What a cricket shot by Celia. This time charging the bowler a little bit, Brady.
Beautiful shot by Celia as she runs down the wicket, and that's a really good option as we look at the replay here. Beautiful shot, good swing as well. Connected really well, and it's added another 4 to the scoreboard.
But I'll take that rather than dropping it too short. That's a better area to ask questions. This time, big swing again by Celia, who's moved on to 36 or 33 deliveries as she just practices a shot rather to the cover or extra cover area, which will be a better option on that line.
Yeah, I think she shouldn't be despondent by lengths and lines that she's obviously hit. She's hitting a really full full length, and it's also field is obviously set to that, as we see Celia's knocking it down to Longo for a single, and that's the end of the 12th over, where the Badgers are 77 for 2 after 12 overs. Yes, going back to that, the line and the length, you know, we must still give credit where credit is due, where there was a beautiful shot which was down the ground, you know. But the lines and the lengths that she's hit, I thought was really, really good lines and lengths that she's obviously done.
No, it's just the old-fashioned good cricket shot. You miss your length a bit and I'll knock it straight down the ground, which she did so well. She's definitely set now, is Isel Celia. Strike rate just past 100. As Deirdre van Rensburg will bowl a second over, this time from the city end. That's a good delivery. Bit of more flight given by Deirdre van Rensburg. It's knocked down the ground by van Rensburg.
Yeah, going to be very, very important now for Isel Celias to crack on now and obviously bat through the innings for them to get a decent score. As we see a shout there just by the wicketkeeper ready there in the back, but I think Deirdre was not interested at all. Yes, so going back to obviously what is a good score, I think, Conrad, what do you think will be as we see a short ball that's been missed out once again there?
It's always these questions that last week I was asked by Comfort as well, what would have been a good score for the Dolphins women. I see anything in the region of 130 to 140. They surpassed that by 20, putting up 160 on the board, and the Dragons ladies just fell short by 25 in that encounter. And I still think this is a 140 wicket, depending on how well they set themselves up from here. I think with the rate currently achieved at 6.2, going to 140 will be a very competitive total. Good over so far by Deirdre van Rensburg. Wider this time, as van Rensburg knocks back, or rocks back rather, not making full contact, but it's collected by Mignon de Prier. It's very important for van Rensburg here to finish the over off well. As she sweeps, but airborne at this time, but Tormay will do the duty. Only a single, 3 from the over. Very good over by Deirdre van Rensburg. 1 for 12 after 2.
Yeah, I think, you know, you're speaking about the 140 after 20. I think if Isel Celias is still at the crease, they could maybe push it to 150, 160. Then you got a really, really good score on the board. But also very important that you keep wickets in hand in the back end in order for them to have a good dip.
As the Pitala Ghansi will continue for her second over. I say that the bowling changes were good so far today by Janae Winster. Saw some good captaincy last week by the Dolphins ladies as well. You know, captain in that game, using them from different ends, giving them that 1 over.
Chance.
It just looked like Sechlori didn't see the ball coming down to her area. She's kind of on a wider mid-on or long-on position, really.
Yeah, but she obviously did really well too. This is the second time where she's got off the rope and it's been really slow, where the batters obviously thought, beautifully bowled, where the batters obviously thought that she's slow to the ball, there's a chance of a second. And this is the second time now where the bowler at the non-strikers end has fumbled and could have been another run-out chance there.
It's just maybe the awareness there from Sechlori that when she saw the shot, she should actually just go down. This time by Celia, who's making very good contact now with the cricket ball, using her feet to get to the pitch of the delivery.
I think that's a really, really good option with obviously lack of pace on the ball, where she's using her feet to generate pace. Bowled.
Harder length this time by Tabitha Lagranzi. It's easier to hit that harder length if the batter is not showing that intent to get down to the ball or down to the pitch of the delivery. As we see Salir moving down to Van Rensburg, just want to say maybe try this, show this intent, make sure that we get that one at least on every delivery as much as possible, even if it's just dabbing it to the leg side, big vacant area on the leg side at this stage, which she does. She goes down on the knee to sweep it. It's a proper arm there from the boundary.
Been a good over so far by Lagranzi. Only giving away 4 runs at the present moment with a big ball coming up now just to close off this over.
Again, it's an interesting field placing here for Tabitha Lagranzi, who goes wider this time. Oh, she gave herself some room there, but umpire Lowe decides no, that's wide. As you say, it's been a very good over so far prior to that wide delivery, but I can understand why she went wider. She saw the room being given by Isel Salir, who's definitely favouring over the extra cover or cover area because it's so vacant. This time more to leg stump, she knocks it deep mid wicket. Collected by Nini, end of the 14th over, 86 for 2, with Isel Salir moving to 43. She's still there with Nicoline Janssen van Rensburg currently finding herself on 4 from 7 deliveries.
Yeah, steady so far, and I think they find a little bit of momentum now, the Badgers. And once you start getting momentum in T20 cricket, it can go either way for you. It can either set you up really lovely to get a really good score, and if it doesn't, it can also go, I should say, pear-shaped for you.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the thing is, yes, you keep them as quiet as possible, the Badgers ladies, good delivery by Deirdre. You know, it's, if you're not going to pick up wickets, you've got to make sure that you're not going for 10s. You can't be going with 6 overs to go. You don't want that over of 10 now, because that will just push that momentum into the favour of the batting team.
As we see, Salir's knocking it into the cow region. Deirdre's actually bowled really well here for the Northwest Dragons women's team. 2.2 overs, 1 for 13.
Shorter. Oh, actually, it's pulled. Does she find the fielder who puts it down? Tabisinini. Oh, and they're gonna take a second run on. Yeah, that was just poor fielding, and then the way that she reacted allowed them to go through for a second run. That's not something that the captain or the coach wants to see. If you made a mistake, get up, get the ball back as quickly as possible. You can see her now disheartened at what she did. This time short again by Van Rensburg. She gets away with it. Only for a single to the backward deep square fielder.
I think, yeah, TG's be lucky there. She's got away with 2 short balls there that could have got her a wicket, and the other one could have gone for 4, but luckily it's only been nice and full. That's beautifully bowled. She's been knocked to a wide. Long off once again. Katlego picking up, doing beautifully down there at the boundary.
Yeah, she's done a stellar job in that position for her team. How quickly she makes the ground to get, because that was kind of wide of her, you know, about 20 meters wide. She got there and only kept them down for the solitary single. Last ball of the 15th over. Short again, finding the captain came off a knee, it looks like. They're going to go through for a second. In the end, a good over for the Badgers ladies, picking up 7 from that one. I think the Dragons ladies could be very happy that it only went for 7. That could have easily gone for 14 plus.
Yeah, those definitely. I just feel, you know, we're obviously singing the Dragons ladies' praises with their fielding, and Nini just putting one down there at the cow area region. But I think what the Golden Root Badgers has done really well here today is that they've run really well between the wickets.
Yeah, there's always a saying, if a single's an offer, take it.
Yeah.
And that's what they've done. You know, the intent in their running was really good, especially Zelsilia and Moodley, who started the innings, and that big partnership that they had. They knocked the ball about, you know, they took those singles and made sure that they rotated the strike as much as possible, not really giving the Dragons ladies much in chances. Yeah, there were a chance or two that should have been taken. But in the end, if you're not out and you can keep going with it, that's just how the game works. As we see Katlego Seglori coming back into the attack, going for 8 in her first 2 overs. She bowled overs 2 and 4 at the start of the innings. Can imagine that legs being a bit tired after the work she's done on the long on boundary so far for her team. Shot being hit by Celia, who moves to 46.
Katlego starting with a short and wide one there that's been cut to the cover sweeper boundary for a single. Very good, very important here that she probably looks to control this rate and not give a boundary away. As you see, once again knocked into the cover area for a single.
Yeah.
I think Northwest Dragons will be happy with this, and then just knocking it into the cover region, and Katlego obviously bowling to a field as well.
It's good cricket all round, you know. They're taking the single that's on offer, rotating that strike. This time rooming, giving as she goes on to the sweep shot. That's an excellent shot selection there by Rizal Celia, who will with that shot move to 50 or 47 deliveries. Excellent innings by Celia. He's kept this innings together, he kept the momentum in this innings with the shots that she's played. With that shot, such good shot selection. She knew that the deep square boundary fielder was up inside the ring. She took the chance, she took the opportunity and picking up that boundary. The score now 99 for 2 after 15 and a half overs. Yeah. And we can imagine that she will shift gears now, Brady.
Yeah, most definitely. I think she's identified that was a risk that she's obviously going to be taking, and a risk that she obviously got rewarded for. And as we see a field change now, where she's got deep square and cow out with cover sweeper coming into the ring. Rizal making room, and she's just knocked it into the backward point, and oof, could have easy turned around, and if there was a misfield there, could have easy turned around and ran for the second, but Katlego doing well to obviously stop it there.
As we see that the South African women's game against Pakistan women at the Mangaung Oval in Bloemfontein is currently delayed. You can imagine that's only because of the rain that the central part of the country has had. As this one's chipped and taken by Janay Winster. That's the end of Nicoline Janssen van Rensburg. Just saying about, she scored 10 of 11 deliveries. But it is understandable with 4 overs, 4 and a half just past that to go in this innings. With 8 wickets in the bank, those chances will now have to be taken. Unfortunately, not coming off and just finding the fielder at long on, the captain Janay Winster.
Yeah, it almost looked like it was a bit of a slower ball that Katlego bowled to her there, and she just chipped it down to a long on, into long on's hands there. I think she probably tried and hit it hard on the ground, but unfortunately Katlego outsmarted her there with a slow ball.
Yeah, good bowling there by Seglori. As we see Mika de Ridder coming to the wicket, who scored 109 yesterday off 140 deliveries. Very good knock by her. Well, she's been part of the national setup so far. If I'm not mistaken, she's a wicket keeper as well. Just going to see quickly if we can find some stats for her.
Yeah, she obviously came in yesterday in a very, very important situation, and a situation that their team was under pressure, and for her to obviously put on that 100 obviously speaks a lot of volumes and what type of player she obviously is, and obviously the character of her as well for that situation. As we see Katlego, as she first ball, she gets on the ramp and she's just ramped her for 4.
Yeah, it's an excellent shot by Mika de Ridder. Mika de Ridder is currently 30 years old, has played for the Eastern Province women and South African women. Women's ODI, she's played 3 games, Brady, scoring a high score of 46. She's a wicket-keeper batter. She played 1 or 2 women's T20 internationals. Yeah, she's definitely had some international experience behind the stumps. Very busy cricketer, I presume. And with 4 overs to go, currently 104 for 3. The women from the southwestern districts will definitely look to just change gears here. Score currently, or the rate achieved currently at 6.5. If they can up that to 7, we'll be looking at a score of 140, which will be very competitive for the Northwest Dragons to chase down later in this game.
Yeah, most definitely, but like I said earlier, with Seviers at the crease, they can definitely get to that 140 mark, which will make it a very, very good score, where we see Nini from the university into Seviers. Starts with a once again, misfield, and they've scampered for another single there.
Yeah, we were singing the praises of the Dragons, ladies. Now with a few mistakes coming through, you know, this is the most important part of the game, is to keep those singles to the limit, not allow them the easy single. Those dot balls are like gold dust with 23 balls to go in this innings.
Every dot ball here would be absolutely gold for the Northwest Dragons. Beautiful shot there, down to long on for a single.
I can imagine Mika de Ridder will favour again the leg side, you know, ramping it. As we know, all wicket keepers, good hands, gets in very nice low positions, very balanced players. And she'll keep them busy for these 22 balls to go in this innings. Oh, big shot down the ground, but it's half stopped by Intabiseng Nini. The key here, and please give your opinion, is for Izelson here to be there in over 20. 100%.
I think if she's there by over 20, I think they'll be looking at a really good score, especially with the rigger at the crease. As you see, missed out there. I think she really favors the square side of the field, as we just spoken about, wicket keepers, and then getting inside of the ball and outside of the ball, staying really low. They're just really busy and they'll always keep you busy.
Whenever I see that ramp or reverse ramp, I'm just thinking face, because it's such a difficult shot to pull off. That's a good shot, but she finds the captain. She finds the captain at extra cover, does the Ridder. I mean, just aiming a bit too square there instead of hitting the ball down the ground better. But again, the shots will be on at this stage of the game.
Yeah, I think they've done really well here, Northwest Dragons, with identifying that she's very strong square of the wicket, and they've blocked her. So they've obviously forced her to hit down the ground, which probably not her strengths, and which they've obviously smiling right now because they've just got the wicket of her getting caught at extra cover there.
No, as you say, what they've done well was they didn't go full. Because any player that ramps it and that works the ball, likes the ball to be very full to them. You know, it gives them time to go down on the knee or just to actually track the ball as long as possible. But as soon as you go a harder length, like Intabiseng Nini did there, you're forcing them to hit down the ground, which is not their strong suit. So good bowling, good captaincy there by Janay Winster and Intabiseng Nini, with the 4th wicket down at 107, the last ball of the 17th over coming up. And again, the stalwart that Tabising Nini. She's getting better game by game. And I don't think it will be too long before one of the big unions will be lining up to get her on their books.
Yeah, I think she's a really good cricketer. Young as well, which is always a positive. And she obviously, as we see the first ball, they're really full, and it's a good dot and a good wicket, well, a good over for the NW Dragons women's. Yeah, going back to her, I think she's young. She's a thinking cricketer as well. I think she's got a really bright future ahead of her. She obviously did captain this team last year as well at a very young age to bring them up into Division 1. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there will be unions after, but let's hope and pray that the NW try and obviously keep her for as long as possible.
Yeah, it will always be difficult to keep those type of players in the smaller unions. As we see Katlego Seglori, who will bowl her fourth over now. Stock standard field, it seems, for this team. Bat offside with the long off on the boundary. As she goes down the ground, Lizelle Salia. Tormey taking the catch at long off. And that's the end of Salia. Very good 53, half century or 50 deliveries. And that's the 5th wicket gone for the Badgers ladies.
Big wicket for the Northwest Dragons in Saliers, and we spoke about it. They've got 2 wickets now in these 2 overs, and the big wicket of Saliers, which might just put the handbrakes on the Garden Route Badgers.
Yeah, it's a big wicket. We did say if she can find herself there in over 20, we could be looking at 140. At this stage, we're wondering if it's going to be 120 to 125. But we see the new batter, shirt number 10, Annika Swart, coming to the crease. She's there with Abrams. Giselle Abrams, shirt number 14. Good result that for the Dragons ladies, picking up that important wicket of Salia, just limiting the damage at the back end of this innings. Will be a very good job for the ladies from Potchefstroom. It's all about the dots now, Brady.
Every dot will be counted now. And there's one of them that we've just spoken about, and so far so good in this over. 2 dots at a wicket. In the 17th over, you will take this any day of the week.
If you look at the field, as we said, very packed offside, inside the ring, outside off stump this time, but a good shot down the ground by Swart. And the successful hands of Tormey, who does the fielding again. Swart getting herself off the mark, 108 for 5, half of the 18th over gone. What do you think, Brady? 120-25? That would be a good result for the women from Potchefstroom. Shorter this time, again same result down the ground, this time by Abrams. Again, Tormey just doing the tidy work there.
I definitely think if they restrict them to 120, 125, I think they've done a splendid job if they manage that, which I think they will do that, because it's going to take some time for these 2 batters to obviously get in now.
Down the ground, half an edge, outside edge of the bat, and Tormey coming round, but they scamper through for the second. Oh, that could have gone to hand as well, which would have made it a very big over for Seglori, who's been excellent today in the field and with ball in hand for the Northwest Dragons women. Such a big ball coming up, this for her, the last ball of her spell of the 18th over.
And as we speak, we've just said if The previous ball into hand would have been a really good over, but that ball just went to hand. And all of a sudden, that 125 is looking very, very far away for the Garden Route Badgers at this present moment.
Yeah, especially with 6 sticks down now at this stage. That's the end of the 18th over. Successful for Katlego Seglori. Such a good job. 3 for 23 in 4 overs. She's been exceptional today in her return, as we see the new batter Ulunseda Dunga coming in with 12 balls to go in this innings. Just this replay, but Fuller this time trying to hit the ball down the ground, but just feel that she just moved out of the shot too quickly. They're getting a bit of a cut on it and therefore going to point. Good hands in the end and a good result for the Dragons ladies.
Once again, Nelson brings a wicket, and how many times have we seen that equation, and then all of a sudden a wicket falls, and we see Nini, once again the batter pulls out.
That must be, that's not the first time we saw that today from any other batters. It must be a way to unsettle the bowler maybe. It's in the full rights of the batters to do that. You can just see, Brady, that there's a bit of a buzz going around the fielding team at this stage. And I'll come to a question there for you as a coach as well. Good length there by Ntabisamini, as there's a bit of a big shot taken on by Abrams. How important is it for the fielding side in a chasing game to walk off intact with momentum?
Yeah, so important, I think. Yes, you can have a bad start in the beginning of your bowling spell or your bowling innings, but what you do in that last over and coming off with momentum, as you see Nini, and it's short and it's been slapped over Nini's head. Beautiful fielding on the boundary there. I can't really see who's Lagranci. She's been unbelievable work down there, which she saved the extra 2 runs. But yeah, just momentum for me in cricket is just so important. And if you can take any little bit of momentum off into your batting innings or into your bowling innings, I think there'll always only be one way for your team. So yeah, very, very important.
Yeah, and saying what, just to highlight what you said now, even stops like that, you know, by the bit Al-Khansi turning a definite, as there's another chance, same result, finds the safe hands of Minion Dupree at backward point, harder length this time by Nini, just outside off stump, and the batter that's trying to make some room for herself, again undercutting the ball, getting a thick outside edge to backward point. Success for Ntabisang Nini. Score now 113 for 7. And precisely the result that we'll be speaking about now, Brady. Taking that momentum, taking that good spirit from the fielding effort at the back end of this innings into the batting innings coming up in about 20 minutes time from now.
Yeah, I think Northwest Dragons have bowled really, really well these past 3 overs. That Nini has obviously contributed a lot in this back end of their bowling innings, which has just restricted them and hopefully restricted them to a score that is well under par on this wicket.
We were looking at 140 at some stages of this commentary stint. Now 120 to 125 would be a very good result for the Dragons ladies, or for the Badgers ladies rather, as we see Kihara Fisher, if I'm not mistaken, she was the duty for the Badgers under 19 goals last year with the CSA under 19 week here in Potchefstroom. Fuller and straighter this time by Ntabisang Nini. Oh, but there is an overthrow that's going to be the unnecessary. They decide against the second run. Lucky for the captain Winster. No need to throw that.
Yeah, but I think Deidre there, that's on the boundary, did really, really well to get off the boundary. And obviously not, and obviously restrict them to not run there. But yeah, I think Garden Route Badgers right now, I think they haven't really played it really well here at the back end. Salia's starting obviously with that big wicket of obviously Salia's, that she got the bulk of the runs, and now they're obviously struggling to get to competitive scores.
It's a good return today for Ntabisamnini, who will bowl now to Ulumsedu Dunga, who has yet to face a delivery. 2 balls to go in her return. 3 for 21 currently. Straight, and she knocks back middle stump. That's what you do if you're at this level. You miss, I hit, and that's the 4th stick for Ntabisamnini.
Ntabisamnini has bowled really well here in a comeback spell. She's picked up 3 big wickets at really crucial times, as we see the replay here coming around the wicket. Ooh, a little bit of a nip back into her, but not the best shot there by Dunga.
That was a big swing across the line of the delivery. Ntabisamnini actually changing her attack, coming around the wicket to the left-handed Dunga. Just changing that delivery point, the angle from her hand into the left-handed batter, as we see the captain Zintle Kula now joining Fisher. 114 for 8. 7 balls to go. It's been very successful over this for Ntabisamnini.
Yeah, I think Hollywood Badgers need to be worried here. They might be bowled out, and then all of a sudden they're staring around the bullet of the barrel of obviously of not getting to 120. So I think very important now that they just bat out these overs here, and just hope that they get bat on ball, and a run on ball will get them to 120, 125.
125 looks like a decent score now for the Badgers ladies, as Ntabisamnini will bowl her last over of her spell. Outside off stump, bit wider this time. Big swing by Kula, not making contact. End of the 19th over, 114 for 8. As we just have to see who will bowl the last over. It looks like the captain, Janay Winster, who's going to bowl her off spinners. And with the last over with 2 sticks, I can imagine some big swings will be taken by both batters, Kiara Fisher and Zintle Kula.
Yeah, I think it's still very important that instead of them trying to go for the boundary, especially these two now at the crease, to knock it around, try and get 6, anything above 6 is a bonus, which will give them a total that they can probably, or they're going to try and obviously defend, of 120 or 120 plus. I think so. Very important that they just try and knock the ball around and try and get as much as possible in this over.
This time, Janay Winster will come around the wicket to the right-handed batter. Again, a 5-4, a 5 offside field favoured. Cut. Oh, good stop there. Who is that? Can't really see that as Alisa X11. That makes a good stop. You can see that smile. She's happy with that. It's interesting that this Kiara Fisher came down so low in today's fixture. I thought she was a decent batter at the Goals under 19 week last year. Room given this time is going to find Deirdre van Rensburg a cover as they scamper. Is there going to be a run out chance? And the half finger goes up by umpire Stradle. Did look out. Did they take the single there, Brady, or did they stop? And was she sent back? I'm not quite sure.
Fisher actually was really slow to leave the non-strikers in there. I think the run was definitely on.
Kula was there. Oh, there was a bit of hesitation there. She came through. Oh, that's touch and go. But I think a good call by umpire Stradle in the end.
Good work by Reddy as well to obviously collect that ball in front of the stumps.
Good arm. Nice and low throw by Deirdre van Rensburg. And that's the 9th wicket down for the women from the SWD Badgers. And as you said earlier, Brady, there's a big chance of now being bowled out. That rate achieved at one stage was at 6.5. It's currently sitting at 5.9. It just shows what the back end, how well the Dragons ladies has done at the back end. From over 15, they've picked up, I wish we had the scorecard actually in front of us to see how many wickets were lost, because they were 2 down, I think, still in over 15. Now they've lost 7 for, can it be about 13 runs?
It could be very, very close there to that. And that's just criminal, I think. I mean, it's killing yourself if you're losing so many wickets with such a low bit of runs. I think you would have taken if there were 135 for 9 or 140 for 9. As you see the ball getting knocked down to Thomas and Nini, and they've turned around and they've gone for 2, and good running between these two. So yeah, very, very important big 2 balls right now to try and get as much as possible. But yeah, it's criminal. You can't lose 7 wickets for in a space of between 17 and 20 runs actually.
Yeah, so if I can give you just an idea, as Janay Winston will bowl the fifth ball of the last over down the ground. Bit of a dive in by her. So Nadine Moodley went out with a score on 67 for 2 in over 11, 10.4. And thereafter, only then Nicolien Jansen van Rensburg went out in the 15th and 16th over, the last ball of the 16th over, and then we lost literally 6 wickets as the last ball is hit down the ground by the captain. Definite turn there, quick turn. She's going to be short by a long way. Will Mijan Botha be? And that's the end of the innings. On the last ball of the 20 overs, there's a run out, and that's the end for the Badgers ladies. 118 all out. I think they made that run, so it will be 119. 120 will be the target. Janay Winston finishing on without success, but still going only for 6 runs to the over. 4 overs for 24. Yeah, so there was a clump of wickets at the back end of this innings. And that's just, as you say, criminal in this game. You've got to see that Izal Sali has got to be there in over 20. She's the calm, cool head that will keep the innings together. Make sure that that score that we spoke about, 130, possibly 140, but now you're 20 runs shy of that. And it's going to be a very a more moderate chase for the Dragons ladies, instead of having that pressure of additional 2 runs to the over. So you can see the coach at the bottom being very happy. He's Claude April with that fielding and bowling effort. Just waiting on the final scorecard of that innings to have a quick summary for you before we take a quick break and wait for the Dragons ladies in their afternoon chase.
As you see the Garden Route Badgers women's, Moodley with the standout there with 37 of 31. Salia's beautiful with 53 of 51 balls. Jansen van Rensburg only 10 of 12. Deirdre with 5 of 4. Abrahams 3 of 5. Annika Suard 3 of 4. And not much obviously speak about in the bottom end there, with the Garden Route Badgers only getting 119 runs in their 20 overs. It's going to be extremely tough to defend that score in saying that, but you never ever know. As we see the Dragons bowling, Yini 4 overs, 4 for 21, which is a standout there, with Katlego 3 for 23. Van Rensburg 1 of 19, which is a very, very big wicket that she obviously got. In Moodley with that one wicket that put the handbrakes on. But in saying that, we'll see you guys in the next 10 minutes for the Northwest Dragons women's run chase. This is hard work.
It is hard work. And you know why? I think we're doing so well. Because there's so little happening. We haven't been negative, Walcott, just give us a message. All right, how long is changeover? 15? Yeah. Come on, man! Seglori picking up 3. Brady, it should have been 140. They need 120.
Yeah, I think those Dragons, like we said earlier, they'll be very happy with this 120 that they restricted them to. As we see Reddy and Minion at the crease for the Northwest Dragons. In Zintle, obviously going to try and make inroads here in the power play with a wicket or 2 in the power play.
Captain Zintle Kula, who will take the new nut. Bowling to Reddy at the other end, Minion de Priya. At just before we went off air for the break, we spoke about how many wickets was lost by the Garden Route Badges women. That just took out that impetus in the innings. You know, it should have been 140, 145, possibly with Moodley and Celia at the wicket, but when Moodley went out, and after that Van Rensburg, it was just Celia who had the opportunity to take a deep. She couldn't, finding the safe hands of Tormey at the long off boundary, and he just beat it out to 190 in the allotted 20 overs. As we see Kula with the new white Kookaburra turf in hand, bowling first ball. That's a good start by her. Hard length, bit of shape on that, Brady.
Yeah, really good start by her there. It looks like she'd hard back of a length there with the ball just coming back into the right-hander. Going to be very, very important for her to obviously give them the start that they obviously need with the ball in hand, and try and knock over these 2 seasoned campaigners and some 2 good cricketers as well, and two cricketers that are obviously in form as well. As we see a full ball that's just been knocked down to mid-on for no run. 2 good starts here.
Yeah, already last week also had a decent start to her innings, scoring about, I think, just past 20. Yesterday, of course, she made the odd 60. That's decent form.
Yeah, and a run chase like this as well, where another full direct delivery there by Kula, and another dot, very, very important. Yeah, I think from a batting perspective, scoring this or chasing this score, it's going to be very important that they get up to the start that they obviously need. A good start in the power play will always be a positive that gives you a chance just to knock the ball around outside of the power play. As you see, another full ball and has been knocked to mid-off for no run once again.
For these 2 batters, we know Minion's class, we know how good a player Varun Nisa already is. It's no need to start off with her as a house on fire. You've got to keep those wickets in hand. A bonus point victory will go down so well for the Dragons here today if they can find themselves in that position. As there's a bit of a shout, but umpire Lowe saying no, that's probably slipping down. I think the main thing is just get yourself into the position first of possibly winning this game before you think bonus point.
Yeah, most definitely. I think try and control what you need to control, and in saying that, you control the amount of wickets that you lose in the power play. Beautiful shot down to long off for no run, and in the end of the first over, I think I've just hurt my leg there. End of the first over, Northwest Dragons 0 without loss. Good start here by the Garden Route Badgers.
We can maybe get the medical personnel up here to assist my fellow commentator Brody Barnes. He's not growing younger. 113 first-class games has taken his toll on his body.
Yeah, that was a painful moment.
Yeah, commentary is not for the faint-hearted. He's got his own ways of just finding out who's still tough and who's not. As we see Kiara Fisher now from the city end.
Interesting, yeah, that they started with spin.
Office, driven by Mignon du Preez, but just finding the extra cover fielder. I think it's a good ploy, you know, just taking off that pace. Depending on what shots Mignon du Preez will be favouring. This time full, meets it on the full rather. Knocking it down to long on, who will just collect and chuck it back to the bowler.
Yeah, Conrad, I'd also feel, you know, in T20 cricket with spin, I think with spin you can actually control the game. I think that's what a lot of teams obviously think that they can. That's why they always go in spin heavy, especially in the middle overs. In the middle overs where you can actually control the game, make the batting side obviously take the risk with your fielders obviously spread as well. But also very important that you obviously do have quality spinners as well. As you see a ball knocked into the mid-wicket area and they scamper through for a single. Yeah, you also got to still have quality spinners in order for you to slow the game down and to maybe make inroads from a wicket's point of view.
Now, Kiara Fisher definitely getting a bit of purchase here from the wicket. You can see as Mignon cuts, and she cuts well, beating the fielder at point for the first boundary, her first boundary, and also for the Dragons ladies, taking the score now to 6.
Yeah, beautiful shot here by Mignon. She shuffled onto off stump, just outside off stump. Fisher threw it a little bit wider, fell into the trap, and that just opened up that point cover region where she capitalized and she got a boundary.
This time a bit straighter, but just a dab down by Mignon du Preez, who says no for the second. Good fielding. See Mika de Ridder behind the stumps, quick sharp hands. End of the second over, 7 without loss. Started off with a rate required of 6, currently at 6.3, with the rate achieved at 3.5, but that's not the problem. Just finding yourself getting in as a batter. As Brady is still going through some much needed medical attention here.
You know, sometimes these days when you bump your leg or your arm or yes, your body feels it all right. As you see, Kula back from the university end. She had a really good start in the first over with the maiden. Let's see how she goes to Mignon. Beautifully ball by Kula, back over length, and Mignon just plays a backward defensive shot there for no run.
I think the women here from Southwestern Cape will know the big stick for them will be Mignon du Preez. Get that and they are in with a chance. She has been prolific in this competition this season. Made a 50 last week as well against the Dolphins in that unsuccessful run chase. This time off the pads. Quick fielding there by Swart. That's square leg.
Yeah, they just moved square leg out of from the slip into that square leg, back of the square leg region there. I think Mignon's really fancying this leg side there.
Oh, good ball, good shot. Excellent fielding by the bowler off her own bowling.
She really has set the tone here in her first two overs, giving absolutely nothing away. 1.3 overs, no runs.
Zinke Kula at the toss said that they would like to get this win today after they lost yesterday. Currently finding themselves at the bottom of the lock in this competition. But a win here will put some pressure on the Dragons ladies, who's currently in 5th position on that log.
As you see, third man coming up into the into the circle. They're going to be dropping a long one down to the boundary. I think this is a good ploy, this by Kula, sorry. She's gone short and wide and got away there. And good chance, good fielding in the cover region there.
Yeah, really coming down a long way down the wicket, waiting for the call from Minion Dupree. Didn't get it, and had to go back quickly to make a ground. Now, Brady, you feel like it's end of February, but there's still so much cricket that's coming up, whether it's live on Super Sport or the majority, a lot of games being broadcast on Pitch Vision and the CSA channel, CSA Cricket channel. The 50 over competition starting yesterday for Division 2 teams and Division 1 teams, I think, starting on Friday evening. So there's a lot of cricket till about, say, mid-April still left.
It's always exciting that when we can obviously see we're given the opportunity for us to see all of this cricket, and obviously it being online as well, so you've got all access to a lot of cricket constantly, and that's what we're always crying for. We're always crying for cricket and more cricket. We still feel that there's still room for more cricket in South African domestic cricket, and let's hope in the new year or in the new season they bless us with more cricket.
Yeah, I just feel that, you know, the SA20 has done a lot for the game in South Africa, but it's also lengthened the seasons, you know, because that's a big chunk of local domestic competitions taken out. That's that 5-week window, and therefore it will go deeper into April, and I reckon there will be some games rain affected, some games will be difficult to start early because of dew, and especially at night as well. The dew factor will become a problem, not so much for the women because they play all their games in the day. And then also this past week a South African Protea side has been announced that will go to New Zealand. This time down leg by Nicoline Janssen van Rensburg, umpire Straydom signalling the wide delivery.
The one positive thing here in this game is that the Golden Root Badgers have started off really, really well here.
Spearheaded by their captain Kula. She's bowled a very good 2 overs so far. Shorter this time, and it's helped around the corner by Reddy. That's a good shot. Van Rensburg just missing a length. The line was still okay, but the length was the problem. And Reddy rocking back and just helping herself behind square for her first boundary.
Yeah, just Van Rensburg just missing in a line which opens up the leg side, and with 2 fielders on the leg side it becomes a free hit for the batter.
It's a very strong offside field she has here, with only 1 fielder outside of the ring so far. She's allowed 2. And she finds the gap through that backed offside field. What a cricket shot by Verunisa Reddy.
Beautiful shot by Reddy there. She's just gone leg side and knowing that probably Van Rensburg is probably going to overcompensate and just miss the wickets, and she's hit lovely through the line and to beat extra cover.
Yeah, it's a bit of shape that Van Rensburg is getting, but the problem is it's not only the length, but it's also the width that allows the arms to free through the line there. Oh, and this time she gets a bottom edge and she chops it on to a stump. That's leg stump out of the ground. First wicket down, that of Reddy. 16 for 1 is the Dragons women. Success for the Badgers ladies.
Yeah, I think she'd feel that she's also probably missed out on that one as we look at the replay here. Where it was a little bit of maybe going back to a foolish ball, but got an inside edge there to knock a leg stump out the ground.
And as always, Leslie de Villiers coming in at 3 for the Dragons ladies. And she is so well supported by family and friends on the grass embankment.
I wanted to ask you, is that a renter crowd there?
That's the type of renter crowd, but it's definitely family and friends that's here to support her. And that's so good to see.
Really lovely to see.
There's a few spectators sitting in the grandstand as well. That possibly could also be friends and family coming to support loved ones. Coming up pretty soon for the Protea women against Pakistan women will be Black Day against gender-based violence. That will be hosted in Durban at the Kingsmead Oval. That's a big day, and also became, over the last few years, the institution on the women's calendar in our country, like the Pink Day for the men's game. This year, unfortunately, only being a 20-over encounter against the West Indies because of the ICC T20 World Cup currently ongoing in India and Sri Lanka. I can give you some feedback on what's happening in the encounter, the morning encounter, as we will say, England against Sri Lanka. England in a spot to bother in Palakere, 110 for 6 against Sri Lanka. That's after 16 overs. Only for Salt making 62, and not much from the rest of the batters. We spoke about this, Brady. It looks a bit of a vulnerable English 2020 side at this stage.
You see the first ball here by de Villiers that's been knocked out to the cow corner region. I think Van Rensburg missed out there. I think she'd feel lucky with just getting that one there. Wasn't the best balls first up, but going back to that England batting lineup, what you said, doesn't feel like it's a powerhouse of a batting lineup with what we've known the England team to be like, but not writing them off. So I still think there's some quality players within that batting lineup in full Salt and Butler, so beautiful shot here by Mignon. Just using the pace of the ball. Yes, missed in line, but using the pace of that ball just to beat point and trickle away to the boundary for 4.
Again, Brady, if you pay attention to that shot, what happened was it was cut by Mignon de Pree, and just see that it also bounced out of the footholes. Now on the opposite end, and it's just an old used wicket. I think they call it nowadays a run-through wicket, for bowling warm-ups, but nearly hit the fielder's face or body as well, as he did earlier in the Badgers ladies innings. He hit literally de Villiers, who's currently in at bat for the Dragons. He hit her in the throat. She's okay now after some medical attention, but a wonder spray, what do they call it? Magic spray. That's a good shot by Mignon de Pree. Now on 10 off 11 deliveries, 21 for 1. Also, as we said, later this afternoon at 3:30, South Africa will take on India at the ICC Men's World Cup. That's in Ahmedabad. Looking forward to that. And currently in Bloemfontein at the Mangaung Oval, South African women is taking on Pakistan in the first 50-over encounter. And the South African women was set in to bat first by the Pakistan ladies, finding myself on 37 for 1 in a 41-over clash. So they lost some time there in Bloemfontein.
Once again, Kula still in the attack for a 3rd over. She has literally bowled 2.1 overs with no runs being given.
Yeah, just imagine going 4 overs without conceding a run. That would be like a world record. This time it's cut and it finds the gap. There's a chase in vain by the fielder. It looks like Fisher. And that's the first boundary to de Villiers, who opens up her account with the boundary.
I think that was Kula's first bad ball that she's bowled. And unfortunately, he's found the boundary, but it was also a really good shot by de Villiers there.
fielder was Mijan Botha, beg your pardon. As the first runs conceded by Kule. This time Leslie de Villiers off the hips, moves well. Gets a single. Very good batsmanship there by Leslie de Villiers, scoring a boundary, making sure to get the single off the next delivery, rotating the strike now to Mignon de Pree. That's an important skill, Brady, in any form of the game, is rotation of strike.
150%, I think, especially in all formats of cricket. I think if you can rotate strike, I think a lot of the times that bad ball will come in order for you to put the bad ball away. And if you're half decent, you will put the bad ball away. So
this time cut by Mignon de Pree. She finds the smallest of gaps between that bat offside, picking up another 2 runs there. Score moves to 28 for 1. Yeah, that's just the mark of a good batter, is finding those small gaps.
and that was a very, very small gap that you found.
Yeah, just to give you an idea, there's about, in cricketing terms, let's say about 8 meter gap between point, cover, extra cover, extra cover. That's such a small area to pierce. And this time she knocks it down the ground to long on. It's an interesting field in 2020 over cricket. You know, that's saying, as captain, I'm not going to miss. If I miss, it's going to be just inside the wide line on the offside. So therefore, I've got 2 fielders out. It was just the ball prior to this, there were 3 fielders on the leg side. Now she's moved another one to the deep mid-wicket boundary, as we know it as cow. Last ball of Kula's 3rd over. But shorter back foot cut by de Villiers. And it's still a decent spell. Only 8 coming off that over, going for 8 runs in her 3 overs as the captain Kula. Been very economical so far.
It'll be interesting to see if she'll go a full quota of overs up front, you know.
Well, if you're bowling well, maybe she wants to finish off her overs and get the spin on. As we've already seen that Kiara Fisher has bowled 1 over of spin. After that, Van Rensburg went for 14 but did pick up the wicket of Reddy. Even though it was expensive, she was successful. We see Kiara Fisher coming back now again for the last over of the power play. Quite similar scores. Swept by de Pree, but not making contact.
Yeah, similar scores here by, I think, the Garden Route Badgers. After the power play, they finished off on 35 for 1. And Dragons obviously well on their way to that 35.
Again, a good delivery by Fisher. This time swept and swept successfully by de Pree. Backward square leg, and she picks up the boundary. Score now moves to 33. Again, we say it will be quite similar to what the Badgers ladies were on after their power play.
Yeah, I definitely feel that's just an easy option for her with square leg up and her coming over the wicket as well. I think she definitely needs to maybe change a line and probably come around the wicket because she's going to keep peppering it.
Yeah, it's an interesting field placing. I mean, she's bowling it kind of flat and quicker. She's not giving it a lot of air. Yeah, I just wanted to actually mention, Brady, that there's a deep mid-wicket out on the boundary. I'm not sure whether Mignon also tried to hit that to deep square for a boundary there. But it's an interesting field placing. At this pace and this line that she's bowling, I would rather say deep square is necessary against the player of Mignon de Pree's quality.
Yeah, it'll be very hard for her to obviously access that cow area, especially if you're going to be going extremely full, you know, it's really flat.
Oh, she finds a gap, does the Lizzie de Villiers. A lot of big dives between the fielders, and this ball will not reach the boundary, but they will go through for 3 runs. Again, a good shot, good effort there by the fielders. He just finds that gap there because it's running off this big square at the JB Marks Oval, so it will pick up pace. End of the power play, score on 37 for 1.
Yeah, I think at this stage now they're just 2 runs ahead of where the Garden Route Badgers were. They were 35 for 1 after 6 overs. I think what's going to be the crucial wicket here is going to be Mignon, that the Garden Route Badgers will be trying to obviously knock her over here.
As we see some spectators at the JB Marks Oval in this Hollywoodbets Pro20 series clash between the Northwest Dragons women and the women from Southwestern District Badgers. Mijan Botha into the attack, having a chat there with the captain about what field she wants. Seamer, right-handed seamer. She came in at number 11 to bat today. Looks like a young girl still plying her trade in the, let's say, Oatswood and George Neisner region. Possibly the worst place to stay on at this stage. Hey, Brady, who wants to go and live there? Very pretty area in South Africa.
Good start by her. By the looks of it, the videos, I think they've obviously done a bit of their homework here with regards to just cramping the videos up here, not giving her a hell of a lot of space to obviously score and free her hands as well.
Nice, good action here by. Oh, it's a chance. Fielder couldn't get under it. Botha definitely knows what she's doing here. She's trying to hit a harder length there to Lizzie de Villiers, cramping her. And nearly a wicket given there. It looks like Swart there at mid-wicket. Trying to dive and falling on that very hard used wicket. You can see her. That definitely hurt the body a little.
Good effort, Barra.
Very good effort. Oh, Mignon de Brea just giving herself some room there, helping herself to the fine leg boundary area, running through for 2. Collected by the fielder that had to run all the way around from deep square.
There's one thing that I've just picked up now. Whoever is batting with Mignon, they need to prepare themselves because she runs.
Yeah. Well, in this form, that's what this game is about. Whoever runs the best has the best chance of winning. That's usually the telltale tale of a very organized unit. So who runs, who can drop and run it, who can have soft hands. This time soft hands again, deep into the. It's not going to be 2.
Definitely not going to be 2 there. I think they both recognize that 1 will just be enough there.
And that's okay as well. It's been a decent over so far for both batter and bowler. Mijan Botha. Looks like she's just angling the ball into the right-handed batters. Nice organised action that she has. Again, angle.
She's definitely not giving the Villiers any room here.
No. We must say, remember, all games are now televised. Streamed, if I can use that word rather. So coaches will sit down and go and see what every player does. You know, they will know Lizzie de Villiers favours the shot over cover, extra cover. She likes width on the ball. So they'll go and do their homework. They'll know which bowler to bowl against which batter. Again, straight at this time. But Lizzie de Villiers do get a lot of bat on it, knocking it down to long on. That's the end of the over. Good start by Mijan Botha, going for only 5 in her first over. Score now on 42 for 1. 78 more needed at a rate required of exactly 6, and that's also the rate achieved.
Yes. I think for the Badgers, I think what's very important, especially when they bowl to Minion, try really hard just to give a 1. And obviously bowl to either better, because it almost looks as though Minion is scoring a free will at this present moment.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Brady. Starve Mignon de Pree of as much strike as possible. Don't give her anything. Make sure that the many dots is bowled to the other batter.
But in saying this right now, I think in order for the Golden Badgers to give themselves a good chance here of winning this game, they really need to get some wickets here.
That will be the key as we see Gusta Abrams coming to the attack. It looks like a bit of an off spinner. You just see the way that she's tossing the ball up from her hand. That is something that they all do. Again, a packed offside field here to Leslie de Villiers. Coaching staff of the Badgers definitely did their homework. She goes on the sweep. I didn't pick it up there, Brady. Is that an off or leg spinner?
I also didn't pick it up. It was really hard for me to pick it up there.
If it is a leg spinner, I understand the field placing.
Yeah.
With only 3 fielders out on the leg side, big vacant gaps, those big pockets that they talk about on the leg side, with only long on, deep mid wicket, and behind square as she pulls, and that's got to be a boundary. That's a huge area to cover that for the fielder. Looks like Moody is going to pick up the ball. Leslie de Villiers would like it short. Gives her time to rock back.
Very important with the lines and lengths that you obviously hit. Yes, it's a packed onside field, but you still need to bowl to that field as we see another short 45 coming into a position with that vacant area on the leg side still being a little bit open.
That's definitely an expert. And as she goes over extra cover, that's a superb shot by Leslie de Villiers. It's definitely an leg spinner this time, but just given the width, outside off stump, that's not the line that you want to bowl. You can bowl that length, but not that line. And Leslie de Villiers helping herself to an excellent shot over extra cover. What she did well there, Brady, is just keeping shape.
Beautiful shot over extra cover. Really lovely to see how these players can hit extra cover so easy as well. Not the easiest shot, but she definitely executed it there.
Yeah, score racing now to 50. For the Northwest Dragons ladies, that's off 7.5 overs. Mignon de Pree at crease, 21 off 19, and Leslie de Villiers racing on, 19 off 14. Looking in fine form today is Leslie de Villiers. As we see that packed offside field now only has 4 fielders. That's a major change that they've made on the offside. Full this time in just a bit of an inside half of the bat from Leslie de Villiers. They can go through for a single. As we see Nicoline Janssen van Rensburg doing the tidy up work.
Be interesting now, obviously, with 2 balls to go. How Mignon obviously plays this over as well.
Goes on the sweep. Up another single. That's 10 off the over so far with 1 delivery to go. And that rate required has moved down to 5.6. It was 6 at the start of this over.
Another beautiful shot there through the covers, and we obviously spoke about that's obviously the end of the 8th over where they're 52 for 1 after 8. We did speak about de Villiers and liking width on the ball, as we can see now. She loves scoring through the cover region. Played a beautiful shot over extra cover for 4. Just knocked one through into the cover region for a single as well. They're well ahead of it now as we speak.
I think what she does well is Leslie de Villiers, she keeps a shape, and when we talk about shape is she stays side on the ball, but what I like about it is that elbow that's so high through the shot. This time going on the sweep, and she gets a bit of it down to the fine leg area. That's a vacant fine leg area, as we see 4 signaled by umpire low. A bit of bat on that as well. Good shot by Leslie de Villiers. Now I'm upping the ante. Upping the ante now to 25 of 17. Just feels for the moment Mignon du Preez is happy to play second fiddle to the way that de Villiers is striking the ball.
Yeah, de Villiers is striking it really lovely, and it just makes life a lot more easier for Mignon as well. Instead of one person only scoring, she's also contributing to this, and she's come to the crease and she's upped the tempo, and she's played really lovely here for 25.
Mijan put up again. Better length, better line. It's just greeted with a full face of Leslie de Villiers' bat. It's okay, I started with a boundary. We had a big over the previous one of 11. We can afford to have this over go for 6 or 7. And we'll still be in control. This time short again on the leg side, angled, and Leslie de Villiers just moving the ball with the ball, gets a bit of a bottom edge on it, but it doesn't matter. She beats the fielder for another boundary. Yeah, she just swivels well in the crease there, doesn't she? And therefore she can get some bat on it, even though it's angled into her body.
I understand the thinking here, but with this field here, you can't really stray too straight. Yeah. With 45 in the ring. I think if she wants to miss, she wants to miss really full on a straight-ish line.
No, that's a second. That's the third one of the over. That's racing down to the boundary, and as you said, Brady, precisely what you shouldn't be doing. If you want to bowl that line, you got to have a fine leg down. So somewhere between herself and the captain, the message is not coming through of what she wants to do here. Third boundary of the over, going to the fine leg area. As the captain just walks to Mijan Boert and just have a discussion. What do you think is a better plan here? What can you do differently to not concede the boundary, rather giving one?
And it's very tough for her as well, because I think if she goes just outside of stump as well with no third man, that's a free hit as well for as we see another ball that's been knocked down to the deep square region. Good fielding out there just for a single. Yeah, so margin of error is actually it's really small, which I think right now if she misses off the stumps here, I think Mignon is going to make her pay here with no third man.
Yeah, you always say that you can't set fields for a bad ball. As Boerta bowls another one, this time Mignon du Preez rocks back, and again deep square will come in to field the ball. We can't set fields for a bad ball. Okay, just don't understand why she has fine leg up in the ring if she's going to bowl that line. Yes, she's still plying her trade. She's still learning the game. Looks like still a young girl that will get stronger, that will get more knowledgeable in the game. But as a captain, I would say, listen, Mijan, maybe we need the fine leg down. That if you're going to stray, that's the area that you're going to miss. We have protection for you. They must make a shot that's difficult. For example, hitting extra cover or going across the line to deep mid wicket, for example. That she has that protection. She has less stress or worry about the bad ball, and rather focus on bowling the best ball she has as much as possible.
100% spot on there. You know, we obviously saw a cover sweeper down on the boundary, but not one of the balls went down there. So she could have maybe brought cover sweeper up and dropped fine leg down, because if she was missing a little bit too straight.
As we see another bowling change, Zizi Ndbuku, left arm turner, orthodox, this time greeted as well with a sweep shot by Mignon du Preez. Moodley is chasing and she does get it at the conventional fine leg area, going through for 2 runs there. These two in batters at this stage, De Villiers and du Preez is definitely doing the bulk of the running. But the score currently are 69 for 1 at the start of the 10th over.
I feel that she's missed out there. This next ball, she's definitely targeting this short 45 region area.
As the rate required has now gone below 5. They started off at the rate required of 6 and over. That is currently at 7.4. And Leslie De Villiers is a house on fire today. 34 of 21. And supported by Mignon du Preez for a change. 25 of 23. Big shot. Full toss. And Mignon du Preez gets all of it to the long on boundary. Very good shot, good execution.
Very, very good shot by Mignon. Yes, it was a full toss, but she came down the wicket and generated power down the ground, which she got rewarded by a boundary. Almost seems as though the Golden Group badges are just a little bit confused with regards to.
Oh, and now she goes right-handed. Ndbuku goes right-handed. Yeah, she had to inform the umpire, I presume. Wait, first there is a signal by the umpire.
Dead ball.
Is it a dead ball given?
Yeah.
You can even hear the umpire, the scorers next door. That time it's full, definitely full toss. And she gets a boundary, does Mignon du Preez, but a definite signal of no ball by umpire straight on, and the free hit signal that follows that. Okay, so we just want to make sure this is. She started off left-handed.
Yes.
Had to inform the umpire that I'm going to bowl different hand.
Yes.
Like you have to inform them that you're coming around or over the wicket. That's the only rule that applies. This is an amazing skill to have. Ndbuku rather. Again right-handed off spin. Free hit, and she gets that as well, does Mignon du Preez. That's another boundary on the free hit. The score races to 82 for 1.
Big over here, big over here for the Dragons women's team, and it's still not over. With still another ball to go, or 2 balls to go in this spell. As you see a field change where long off and long on is down on the boundary with the cow corner, deep square, cover sweeper in the ring. Oof, just missed out on the leg side one.
Yeah, it's interesting that the fielder from the cover sweeper had to come in so quickly. She just found herself inside the ring as just before Ndbuku delivered the ball. It was no point. She just to haste herself, because there was already 4 fielders inside the ring. At the end of the 10th over, the score on 82 for 1, and currently that rate achieved has flown up to 8.2. Rate required 3.8. As we see bowling change from the university end. Nicoline Janssen from Rensburg back into the attack. She went to 14 in her first over. Was the only successful bowler so far in the innings, picking up the wicket of Reddy, who chopped onto her stumps. Also played a nice little cameo that from Rensburg in the innings of the Badgers ladies.
Yeah, you know, it's
placings, necessary personnel being moved around.
Once again, you can't really miss straight here. Missed out there with that short and wide. That's just foul on the point region fielder.
Not the worst ball, hard and length. You can see definitely Leslie Laverius favouring that cut shot, and anything that's been given width to her through the offside. She just tucks the ball on the leg side. Limited feet movement. That's why it happens. That's why she favours that cut.
I think she trusts her backswing there.
Yeah. I think when she moves well, when you can actually see there, but it's not on screen, but Mignon de Prier showing her, use your feet. You know, you're just sitting back, your weight's not transferring towards the line of the delivery. That's good to see Mignon de Prier just assisting a little bit there. Oh, no, big appeal by Van Rensburg. Definitely going down to the leg side. Up in Bloemfontein, the South African women taking on the Pakistan women in the first of 50 over games. South Africa had a 41 over game, 68 for 2, with Lara Wolford still at the crease on 39 or 38. And Sunay Lees just joined her after the dismissals of Tasman Brits and Laura Goodall for 10 and 13 respectively. Again, Van Rensburg just hitting back of the length. Better over so far for the Badgers ladies.
Much better over, I think. The lines and the lengths have been really, really good so far. Not giving the videos any room at all to free my hands as well.
Now to finish off her over for as little damage as possible. Width given, but only going to concede a single. It's a better field placing, there's better plan here by Van Rensburg.
She's bowled really well in this over here from Rensburg. I think she knows exactly where she's going to miss and what line she obviously wants to try and attack.
Partnership currently at 67. Down the ground by Mignon de Prier. Did she get all of it? Oh, excellent fielding. Looks like the chief run scorer for the Badgers lady, Celia, who made that stop. Can only go through for a single. That's good fielding.
Yeah, really good fielding there by
Nearly a collision.
Yeah. But she's actually done really well there because I think Kula got a hand to it and knocked it into her, so really, really good fielding there. She actually saved three extra runs there, but really good over as well.
That's something that the head coach, Wynand de Ridder, would love to see, is those efforts by his fielders, all the work being put in, the long hours of toil with these women, not only in the nets but also on the outfields, strength and conditioning work being done, and that's the price that you pay for it. That's good work to see. Kiara Fisher back into the attack for her third over. Just again a very strong offside field. Oh, bit of luck there for Mignon de Prier, who came down the wicket, got a thick inside edge, and just collected at short fine leg. Looks like she wants to get on with it now, Brady.
I think she's eyeing out that bonus point win now, so beautifully bowled.
A bit slower by Fisher. She's still not giving it a lot of flight. She's more of a darter, but she's just playing with that pace. And that's what's making her so effective so far in this innings.
Knocked down too long on for a single. She bowled really well these first 3 balls. It'll be interesting to see how de Villiers plays her as well. De Villiers obviously hasn't faced a lot in this past 2 or 3 overs, so probably has to restart again and start her innings again, even though she's on 35. Reverse sweep, beautiful shot, lovely. Really good shot by her.
Some innovation shown there by Leslie de Villiers, not only a bludgeon of the ball through the leg side, but also going down low, getting a reverse lap. It's not really a reverse sweep, it's more just using the pace of the delivery, picking up 2 runs for her tally. This time going over extra cover. That's the ball she wants to get. Again, keeping her shape so well. Nice high elbow. Again, 2 runs. And she's racing now. 39 off 29, 28 deliveries. Good strike rate she has currently. 31 needed in 8 overs for the Dragons women. See another fielding change.
Very important, yeah, she doesn't miss in her line.
Straight over long off's head or mid off's head for another boundary. Excellent cricket shot. She hits the ball so well, does Leslie de Villiers. She definitely works that front elbow up through the shot. Extends it. You can see the strong arm action. She does give herself some room to allow for that space to be hit. But she keeps her shape so well.
Yeah, I just think when I saw that field changing, I think the fuller ball would just be an easy shot for her, because she's actually quite good at using her hands and obviously getting her hands through the ball there to open up the one side of the field, which she does, and she was paid with a boundary.
Yeah, good cricket shot to end that over for the next the Northwest Dragons women, currently sitting on 93 for 1 after 12 overs. 27 needed for victory in Potchefstroom. 4 overs to get the bonus point as Nicoline Janssen van Rensburg bowls. Cut by Mignon de Pree. She's going to find the boundary this time as well. That's back-to-back boundaries for the team. Excellent cricket shot. She goes to 39. 43 as well. Similar scores for both batters.
Beautiful shot there by Mignon de Pree. Just waited for the ball. Little bit of width, and she beat back with a point there.
This time a bit straighter by Van Rensburg. Mignon de Pree just chipping it. Was airborne for some time, but no real danger there, as there's no fielder inside the ring on the leg side, except for the short fine leg, nothing in front of square. She's got a 5-4 field, does Van Rensburg. Short fine leg, deep square, deep mid wicket, long on. And then 5 fielders on the offside. Better ball by Van Rensburg. She's bowled well today.
She has bowled well. I think she was a little bit unlucky in the first over, but she's come back really nicely with her lines and her lengths that she's hit in a second and third over here, as we see a 4th ball coming up right now with she has a discussion here with the captain. Don't go straight. And she goes straight, and she's been pulled between cow and deep square. That is brute power there by de Villiers.
Yeah, just this time, as you said, don't go straight. She went straight, but she went short as well. And as we saw earlier, Leslie de Villiers definitely just swiveling on that back leg, opening up the whole of the leg side, and she picks the gap between the fielders at deep mid wicket and deep square. Excellent cricket shot for the second boundary of the over. Leslie de Villiers definitely eyeing up that half century. She's 3 away off 31 deliveries. 18 more required for the Dragons ladies. Better ball, fuller this time to de Villiers.
Yeah, I think the fuller ball that's really straight, I think she's actually struggled a little bit to put away. The minute the ball is slightly short, or if there's width on it, she capitalizes like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, I think she's identified two or three scoring areas that she wants to score in. Definitely through cover, over cover, extra cover area, the cut, and then of course the shot that she's played at on the third ball of this over from Van Rensburg. She wants to swivel on the back leg, and the reason being she opens up herself quite quickly in a start. She doesn't move her front foot really well to the delivery of the ball. She wants width, and she stays very leg side of the ball, and that's why she's I reckon she's very effective in this format. I think in the longer format it could be a bit more difficult for her because of the time that you got to spend in front of the wicket. But yeah, she hit the ball really well today, and all credit to how she's hit it.
Yeah, she's definitely come in and just upped the gear a little bit. Where they were behind the 8 ball, only scoring at 4 and over. So definitely eyeing out this bonus point win now. It's a beautiful shot through extra cover. Good fielding by. That was fielded down and long off.
That's the captain. Good stop by her. Brady, any necessary reason for you to get nervous about Liverpool's game tonight against Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, the only reason is that we're playing them away, so it might be a little bit of a struggle. And with Liverpool's form at this present moment, I'm not too sure.
I'll hold thumbs for you, Brady. I know you get really excited when your team's playing, like we are when the Dragons are playing. And this time, Leslie de Villiers going on the slog sweep, but there is protection at deep mid wicket. Swat picks up, good throw into the bowler. Kiara Fisher now bowling her 4th over.
And how's your team, Wigan Athletic?
Again, we're commentating cricket. That's what we're doing. Now we lost again yesterday, 4-2 against Stockport. That's in the. My dad says it's the Sport Pinard Beker. Nobody cares about it, but we do. As Mignon de Prier hits it down the ground. Another single. 16 required. 15 now required for the Dragons ladies. Both batters moving closer to their half-century mark. Gutted by Leslie de Villiers not finding the gap. No, they've got a dream like all sports teams do in 3rd or 4th divisions. They've got a dream, not sure what it is. Could be a 10-year project, 5-year project, could take forever. Oh, and she's played a sweep shot, and she's caught. Is Leslie de Villiers on 48. Just bad execution. She could have gone straight down the ground. Decided to try and slog sweep it, but does get the top half of the bat. Yeah, not a good position she got herself into. Gets top half of the bat, and she's well taken, but still a very good knock by Leslie de Villiers, who took the game forward for the Dragons ladies, getting them into 50 only required. That's 48 or 35. Success for Kiara Fisher in her final over. Wry smile on her face as Leslie de Villiers with Elisa X11 coming to the crease, congratulating her on her knock.
Yeah, she batted really well, did she? Did de Villiers. She came in, she upped the tempo. She scored in the areas that she wanted to score in, and she made bowlers bowl into her area as well. So unlucky not to get a half century, but she can be very proud with a 48 or 35 balls.
Yeah, it's again a very good innings by Lizzie de Villiers. I think that's her second 50 of this competition. She did score one last season at the end of last year, rather at the end of 2025. She's been prolific with a bat for the Dragons ladies. As we see Elisa X11 to the crease, and in the grandstand we can see the president of women's cricket in the Northwest, Esther Parsons, and her daughter coming to support the team that she is president of, and all women's cricket in the province, if I'm not mistaken. Also from playing in the Switch SA20 finals will be the girls from Saints.
Saints, yeah, and they've been very good over the past 2 years as well, which gained a little bit of experience. It was a young team last year. It'll be interesting to see how they go about their business this year as well.
As Elisa X11 knocks the ball to deep mid wicket, picks up her first single. End of the 14th over, 106 for 2, 14 needed off 6 overs, but I think the Dragons ladies will say, we're going to eye that bonus point. What can we do to get that bonus point in this Hollywoodbets Pro20 series clash here in Potchefstroom? It's been an overcast day, a bit windy, not cold, still very humid.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird day as well, because this morning the sun was out, and then as the day's gone on, it's got a little bit overcast and a little bit cloudy, but at least it's not cold.
Not cold. As Zintle Kula, the captain, comes back to bowl her 4th over, and you can see what her plan is here. She knows her team is in a bit of trouble. She's bringing all her fielders inside the ring, not want to give away any singles. So if there's a play being made, and as we said that both fine leg and third man is going down, but everything in front of square is inside the ring, she wants to make this run chase, this possibility of a bonus point, as difficult as possible. She starts off and it's cut by Elisa X11, and they're going through for another run. That's a good cricket shot by her.
Yeah, very good. I think that point region is a little bit in front of point instead of being behind point. So any ball that's a little bit back of a length, she can easily work herself through that backward point region that will bring 2 runs.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Switch Schools SA20 finals. That will be from the 4th till the 7th of March in Pretoria. All games played at the University of Pretoria's facilities. That's 8 boys teams, 6 girls teams, Brady.
Yeah, got that right.
That's a very good opportunity for the growth of the game. Excellent work done by SA20, Cricket South Africa and Switch, who got on board as title sponsor. Another 2 runs to X11, now on 5. Oh, and she chips this over deep square. It's racing to the boundary, but it's got to be well fielded by, it looks like Botha, Nijan Botha, and they go through for 3 runs. Superb running there by the seasoned campaigner in Mignon de Priya.
Can I ask a simple question? Has she retired from international cricket?
I'm not sure, Brady. I think she has. I know she, sometime last year or the year before, she had twins. So maybe, I can imagine her retiring from international cricket because of motherhood.
Yeah.
But she's still a serious cricketer.
Still a serious cricketer. She has been so consistent for this Dragons team. It's been
And to be honest with you, Brady, she played for the Knights last season before they were relegated, and she did precisely the same for them. So you can't blight class. She has it. She plays well. She plays the game superbly well, and now at the latter part of her career, still finds time to play domestic cricket at this level, with the joys of motherhood that comes along with it. She still finds the time, and if she can just instill the love of the game and everything that she's experienced in what the game has given her, then she's still doing her job, as it's cut again by X11.
Better few places, I should say.
6 needed now from 5.1 overs, 7 balls to go for that bonus point. It's definitely in range or in shot here for the Dragons ladies as they try. The field is spread again by the captain. Good captaincy. Wanted to give Elisa X11 the strike at the start of the new over. She bowls a hard length and there's no run. There's still a proper over there for the Dragons ladies, going for 8. Good figures by Zentle Kula. 4 overs for 16. Her first 2 overs, she did not concede a run.
Yeah, she's bowled really well today. Unlucky not to pick up a wicket, but from an economy rate, she's done an unbelievable job, which is, unfortunately, it's going to be on the losing side, but she's bowled really well though.
A superb spell by Zentle Kula. 6 needed now from 30 balls. Safe to say that the Dragons ladies will get a victory here in Potchefstroom. Victory in the 50 over competition, the Hollywoodbets Pro 50 yesterday, possible victory today in the Pro20 competition. And thank you to the sponsors of this competition as well, growing the game, the ladies game in South Africa, Hollywoodbets, as Nicoline Janssen van Rensburg into the attack for her 4th over. And Mignon de Priya will go to 50 as she chips the ball at deep fine leg. She's been prolific this season for the Dragons. Great cricket shot, such good execution, still head on the stroke. Mark of a good player is the head that is still in any shot that they play. 2 needed for victory. Mignon de Priya 51 or 38. Again, the backbone of this innings for the Northwest Dragons women. She just chips it to the cover fielder. She goes through for a single and she will leave the last run to get to X11, who's done a handy job here for a team as well. Currently on 8. All the fielders inside the ring, Brady.
Yeah, all obviously trying to save the last run. Try to drag out this game, but Mignon's been unbelievable with, as well as the Villiers as well. She's been really good. And
that's the game.
Beautifully tucked into the leg side by Alessa, and they've got through and they've pulled the double over this weekend. Northwest Dragons have been really, really good. I felt they were really good with the ball at the back end of their bowling innings, and then they just set the tone with the bat. With Mignon obviously finishing up with 52, as we see the crowd applauding the players. Mignon batted really, really well there.
Yeah, it's a superb knock again by Mignon de Priya, as mentioned by Brady Barnes. So well supported by Desiree de Villiers, also achieving that half-century mark. Oh, not half-century, she went out on 48, but excellent partnership that she had with Mignon de Priya. Northwest Dragons women winning by 8 wickets today, winning by 7 wickets yesterday in the 5th Pro 50 competition. Successful weekend for them, very happy. The coaching staff would be giving them another opportunity to save themselves in this promotion relegation battle. I think it will be between them and the women from the Garden Route Badgers.
As we see here, the Northwest Dragons women's team ready, 9 of 12. Mignon 52 of 39, she batted really, really lovely. De Villiers 48 of 36. Alyssa 9 of 7. Really, really, really dominant batting performance here by the Northwest Dragons as they come out winners today. And unfortunately, the Garden Route Badgers women's unfortunately losing this game today. As you see the full scorecard here of the Garden Route Badgers scoring 119 in their 20 overs, getting bowled out. Alyssa Cilliers 53 of 51, Moodley 37 of 31, Van Rensburg 10 of 12, De Reda 5 of 4, Nini pick of the bowlers there 4 for 21, Katlejo 3 for 23, Van Rensburg 1 for 19. And then the Northwest Dragons women's batting getting 120 in 15.3 overs, really dominant with Mignon 52 of 39. Rizal De Villiers 48 of 36, beg your pardon, and Alyssa 9 not out. Pick of the bowlers in the Garden Route Badgers was Fisher 1 for 28, Van Rensburg 1 for 31. Kule bowled really lovely and unlucky not to get a wicket, north of 16. As you see the full scorecard here of the Garden Route Badgers scoring 119 in their 20 overs, getting bowled out. Alyssa Cilliers 53 of 51, Moodley 37 of 31, Van Rensburg 10 of 12, De Reda 5 of 4, Nini pick of the bowlers there 4 for 21. Katlejo 3 for 23. As you see the full scorecard here of the Garden Route Badgers scoring 119 in their 20 overs, getting bowled out. Alyssa Cilliers 53 of 51, Moodley 37 of 31, Van Rensburg 10 of 12, De Reda 5 of 4, Nini pick of the bowlers there 4 for 21, Katlejo 3 for 23.
Welcome to the post-match presentation and interviews. This Hollywoodbets Pro20 series clash between the Dragons ladies and the ladies from SWD Badgers. If I can have the captain of the SWD Badgers for a quick interview. Zintley. It was a proper start with a bat this morning with Celia and Moody scoring some runs for you there, 60, 70 odd for 2 after 10 overs, and then just fell away a little bit. What went wrong?
Like you said, we started off pretty well, very proud of the girls. Like, they gave us a beautiful start, and then I guess we just lost it towards the end where wickets were just falling. But they gave us a good start, and it is how we wanted to start our innings today. So yeah.
And a proper start with you with the ball today. You bowled 2 overs without conceding a run. Long time since we've seen something like that. Congratulations in the first part for that. And then it was just proper batting from the Dragons ladies. Chance or 2 not taken. Is there anything that you think you can work on going into the last 2 games and weekends in these competitions?
I mean, like you said, the plan was to attack with the bowling. I guess we let ourselves down with the bowling a bit. Our lines were not as we had plans bowling to our field, so we let ourselves down with that one. We'll just have to go back to a drawing board. Like you said, it's the margins, the little things. It's always the little things. If the other, then it's something else. So I think it's just a matter of going back to a drawing board and just resetting.
Yeah, but thank you for visiting Potch, Zintley, and safe travels back home to the beautiful Southern Cape.
Thank you so much.
Okay. If we can have Janay Winster quickly for an interview. Janay, well done. It's a double victory over the weekend. Talk us through today what went right for you girls.
Again, the patience thing, because we didn't go look for the runs. It actually came to us and we capitalized on the bad balls. And we just had a lot of conversations on, are we going for the bonus point, or are we staying calm enough, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, it's a long time coming for us getting these results and making sure that everything just falls in place, all other processes.
Yeah, we thought upstairs that your disciplines were really good in the field, especially this morning. And then Ntabi Singh bowled really well, backed up with proper fielding with the whole squad. The chances were taken, and therefore back end of the innings you girls really did well, picking up that 8 wickets for very little. And when it came to the bat, 2 proper innings is there. What do you think was the difference in your innings between and then the Badgers innings?
Not so much of a difference, but one thing I will compliment our girls on is that fielding. There was a lot of runs that were saved, and the scoreboard could have looked very different right now. So it would have been a lot more pressure on us when it comes to the scoreboard. But yeah, our fielding was very on top, and like you said, disciplined bowling. Just hitting the right areas and the right lines for as long as possible.
We're very proud of your efforts over this weekend, and all the best for the last 2 games.
Thank you so much.
All the best.
Thank you.
And then for the player of the match, a few hands were up in the air, but we felt that for figures of 4 for 21 from 4 overs, Ntabi Singh Nini. Just going to give you this, Ntabi Singh. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's first take a picture for you. Okay. Ntabi Singh, congratulations again. Excellent figures. You are growing as a player so quickly. What's the secret behind your success?
I'd say there's no secret. Just keeping the basics right for myself. Coming from a tough tournament with the emerging side, and then had to come again and play. It was never easy, but I'm happy that I could pull it through.
Yeah, I was saying bowling with a new ball has always been something that you pride yourself on, that you're very proud of, and we thought today as well. Nothing given away. What areas are you trying to hit up front with a new ball?
There's a secret box that we talk about in the team, so I try to maintain that box as much as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations, and it was absolutely fantastic watching that display of bowling. Congratulations, Ntabi Singh. And that's it from the JB Marks Oval in Potchefstroom. Both games today in the Pro20, won by the girls from Northwest Dragons, and we're looking forward to seeing you pretty soon. Is it still too high?
Thanks.
It's difficult to keep it here.
Yeah, I know.
So it feels weird, but anyway, thank you.
Sure.